Glad to be here.
What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comic. We do live auctions, live claim sales. I rock with Tooth and Claw, hit animated television series. Scotty Young joint, blowing up fast. X-23. So this is dope, man. All right, so this is beautiful. Yo, what's good, everybody, man? Let me bust out one more little intro for y'all because my man is on deck. What's good again, everybody? This is the sixth element of hip hop. I am your host, Reno Noir, and this is your co-host, Stu Dog. What's good, Stu Dog? He's chilling. There he is.
All right, man. Stu Dog hit the wrong button. Yeah, I hit the wrong button, logged myself out instead of coming out of the camera, man. So I like that shirt. Reno, man. What's up? I was gonna say, bro, what's up, Cobra Trooper? What's the deal?
When I seen that shit, we really like about 10 years ago, I had the bright idea before 80s tees existed to make a t-shirt company with just 80s cartoons, like 80s cartoon logos, 80 cartoon shit. But I was gonna do them have a stencil and have it like kind of spray painted, so it would look like spray paint, like almost graffiti art, like they tagged the wall with the Cobra symbol, shit like that, Thundercats, all of that. And I never got it off the ground. Well, because I got into selling
crack.
No, I had stopped selling crack a while back before. This was I was selling like hip hop label clothes, like Academics and LRG and all that. So I was selling that for a while, got into that and never did the t-shirt thing. But what's good, Cooks in the building.
Y'all? What's going on, y'all?
Cooks, the man, the myth, the legend. What's up, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
All right, brother.
Listen, man, put some malware on your phone, man. It's just the phone. That helps. A lot of times we get emails from fictitious places, and they put things on what they put is they'll put Trojans on your devices, and you open the email or whatever, and put keystroke programs, and that's how they hack your accounts. So you can't always accept everybody's stuff on Instagram or emails or Facebook, whatever, So you gotta have some protection on your phone, people, because you all do everything from your phones. I don't. I'm not bragging. I'm not, saying I'm,
this guy
above another level, but
this guy, Cooks, you hear him?
I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't do stuff on the phone. Well, because the phone, and then you can also, Cooks, walk by somebody who can actually ping your phone and do things like that too. So, don't keep nothing in there. No passwords, nothing. Don't keep none of that in your phone, man. You're definitely setting yourself up for failure, man. We do that.
Let me check something here.
But anyway, Cooks, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. Now listen, I just noticed, Cooks, you got quite a few more pops back there than you normally would have. You wouldn't mind letting us check those out, would you, man? Because you got quite a few back there, my man. We did a gym show not too long ago, and you didn't show up, and we was looking for you. But we know how you be out in the streets. You know what I mean? You be out in the streets doing what you got to do. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
We there he is. Yeah, I thought that link should have been working, Master. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
You got to turn your mic up or something, because I can hear you, but I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
A little bit. Yeah, it's coming up there.
Oh, there you
there
go.
we go.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, my bad.
Had the headset up.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You're still going in and out. You got the mic and the headset? You got to pick one.
How's that?
There you go.
Is that better?
That works. Corey Adger, what's good, man? Welcome.
Corey,
Cooks,
What's up, Corey?
I can hear you. Oh, there you go. Okay, Cooks is good. All right. Damn, look at Chester Cheetah.
Yo, they got a Chester Cheetah Pops. Doc
Bro, they got
okay.
everything, bro. Look at Kid and
Kid
Play.
and Play.
Kid
Hell
and
yeah.
Play.
Dr. Octopus is dope. Soundwave. Oh shit! I didn't know they had Soundwave. Dog.
That I knew.
Look at my.
I seen, but I've never seen Daredevil.
Yeah, man. Soundwave is my favorite Transformer.
And I never
Space
seen
Ghost.
Mysterio. Space
Ghost. Yo, Cooks, man. I didn't know you had these. These are dope. Look at the wrestling joints. Captain Marvel, Skrulls, Talos. Yeah. Black Widow, Thanos. Got the chromed out joints.
This is my favorite one right here, though. Not that one. Not that one.
Snake ass.
The big Miles. That's dope with the graffiti. Yeah, those are dope.
These guys, that's the last one I got, that Jackie Robinson.
That's hot.
And then, Teen Wolf up there, I had to get Scott Howard.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Leonardo. But yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me better now?
Yes.
So much better.
I forgot I had YouTube opened up on another tab watching the live. When I went to go shoot you messages, the link wasn't working, but there we go. Now it's better. Now I'm not hearing you guys 4 different times.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's a dope collection, man. Those are some dope pops. Well, okay, so today we got some things to talk about. We got to talk about some things. We want to show you guys, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but just in case you have not yet, we have for you the latest trailer in the Doctor Strange joint. And we want to talk about a specific part of this trailer, a specific thing that you guys might have noticed.
Yes.
That chair, baby.
I was so excited to see that chair.
I'm telling you, man, because it symbolizes a lot of things. It's not just, okay, Professor X is here. Well, we kind of knew that from the last trailer. We knew Professor X was going to be in the movie because we heard his voice. We knew the Illuminati because we saw the chairs and we can discern shit. In this trailer, they use the word Illuminati. They talk about it. They say it. And don't worry about my image, guys. I'm going to fix the internet in a second. But they by showing the let me see if how this shows up. By showing that chair, by letting us see that chair, that tells me that we are looking at the comic book accurate Professor X. Like in the Fox X-Men movies, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not remember. All I remember him being is in a literal wheelchair with the X on the wheel. Like that's as close as they ever got. Okay. We never got that floating yellow hover craft chair that is so iconic from the comics and from the cartoon, the the animated show, like. And so this makes me feel like we might actually get Wolverine in the mask. You know what I mean? Like if they're going as far as giving us that, then I know Marvel understands what fans have been looking for, what we've been wanting, and I gotta give it up to him for this, man. I'm super hype about that. I cannot wait to see that whole chair floating across the screen. And yeah, it's a good, because like, what do we say all the time, Stu? They got the source material. Why don't they use it? And yeah, so
they use it. Yeah,
they're using it.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah,
I think it was, I don't know if it was Kevin Feige, but somebody said that mutants have always been in the MCU. But two things: we, as an audience, haven't noticed them, and two, just haven't been shown them. Like they there, they exist, but they just haven't shown them to us yet. So
I think he said that a few years back.
Yeah, he said they're in there, but we just haven't shown them yet. They just, we've been focusing on the Avengers instead of, just throwing mutants in there every now and then or whatever the case. You know what I mean? Like we have mutants here, like Cooks is a mutant. So we know Cooks has mutant powers. So
not just Cooks, I'm a mutant too.
Exactly.
I'm mutant and proud, baby.
Yeah, Cooks is a mutant. Cooks can fly and turn invisible.
Me and Cooks, we mutant and proud.
Yeah, and still a mutant too. He don't have to pay for nothing. He just go and get it.
I mean, well, I'm like Batman. That's my superpower. Like Batman's superpower. He rich. That's my superpower. I had to pay for that.
And Sada, I think Sada's gonna sit this one out because she's afraid of Doctor Strange spoilers. She doesn't want to learn anything, maybe that she doesn't know already.
So on the topic of spoilers, did you guys see that post that CBSI put out the other day, where there was an image? I'm not going to say what it is, but there was an image shown, and I have never seen so many pissed off people in a comment because there was no like spoiler warning or anything. You guys haven't seen that. I'm not gonna say what it was.
And this is on IG.
Whoa, yeah, that's what I
highly I highly recommend. All right, don't go look it up.
Master,
yep.
Do me a favor. Do you see the private chat?
Oh yeah.
Send it to me in the private chat.
Yeah.
Private. Okay, good.
All right.
Just make sure it's private.
Yeah, it's private. Only we're gonna see it. And if you're watching right now in the comments and you really want to see it, let me know. But I'm gonna show you guys the trailer in the meantime. So this is the trailer. There's no spoilers here, guys. Just the trailer. It's the one everybody's seen. But I just want to make sure that we all see it and that everyone watching right now sees it, because we're about to talk a little bit about it. And so if you guys are ready, we're gonna run it.
That's right.
Ready?
Because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's jumping.
Watch close. Watch close.
I waited all the way for today to see it. So let's just get it popping.
Boom. Wait. Oh no. There's no sound, is there?
No, I don't hear them.
Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about it while we watch it. So this is scenes that we've seen before, and you've got, Dr.
Now we know what's his name. We know what's his name. Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme right now.
And there's Evil Strange. Right.
Strange. Right. Now who is that?
Ultron robot.
Too? Evil Strange?
That's Good Strange. Okay. Now he just said that we're gonna see the Illuminati, and there's Professor X in his chair rolling through. Shuma Garath.
Mm-hmm.
That's Shuma Garath.
And Scarlet Witch is heavy in this because she's getting into the Darkhold.
Well, how you guys feel about the Captain Carter shield there?
Yeah, and America Chavez.
Yes, that is Captain Carter's. Yeah. Well, we know we're going to a different dimension. I mean, a universe and a multiverse. So okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget his name.
Zombie Strange.
Yeah, Zombie Strange.
Yes.
And
Loki.
So rumors that I heard
Zombie
was
Wanda.
That Zombie Wanda. And while there at some point in this trailer, there was rumored that they showed what's the Star Wars the planet. God damn it.
Ego?
I look like an idiot. No, man, the planet where Anakin and Obi-Wan fought. Mustafar. Okay. Yeah, Mustafar. The lava planet with all the lava and all of that stuff. And yeah. So apparently there's oh really? Where is this from, Master? Where is this image from?
Excuse me. I don't know where the actual image came from, but it was on Comic Invest CBSI, I think it is, their Instagram. So they showed like fan art. You swipe, you see another kind of like fan art, and then you swipe and you see like a looks like somebody took a picture in like one of the like the early showings, and it shows one character that's already been confirmed, another character which I have an idea of who it is, but it kind of looks a little off, and then this other mystery character that pissed off everybody who saw it.
So wait,
and what you just told me was the one that people are pissed about.
Yeah, because it's freaking huge.
All right, guys. So spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear it, plug your ears. Count of 3. We're gonna say it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. So we're seeing images of John Krasinski from The Office as Mr. Fantastic, which I know a lot of us already kind of, knew that he was gonna play that role, or at least we hoped, and maybe we saw some fanfic or some fan art or whatever. But so what you're saying, Master, is that that it's confirmed that this was actual footage from a real movie or something.
From what it looks like and from what was said, yeah. I mean, it could have been somebody really trying to troll the internet and like did some kind of my God,
CGI.
CGI, thank you. Yeah, some kind of like at-home imagery to make it look like that.
Right, like a deep fake thing.
Yeah, well, but from the response.
Well, was it just a picture of him standing there, or was it like him in action?
It was like a still from a scene where it showed him along with, like I said, one other confirmed character and another one that we kind of suspect was going to be there.
Yeah.
So it looks legit.
Well, who's the one that we suspected? Who are the other characters?
Haley Atwell's Captain Carter. Spoiler. And I think it might be Black Bolt. But like I said, it's kind of
well,
it's not the best quality image, but if they are they confirmed the Illuminati and Black Bolt.
Well, that's what I was just going to say.
The Illuminati.
Exactly. This is why I don't understand. And I saw some posts on Instagram, guys getting all bent out of shape and pissed off. And, dude, we knew the Illuminati. Do you read comics? Do you not know who is in the Illuminati? Like Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, Professor X, Namor, Tony Stark, Black Panther. I think that's all of them.
Which now you just mentioned Black Panther. I wonder if that's how they're gonna, bring in the new Black Panther for the next movie.
Well, it would make sense.
Well, here's something that makes sense. Here's something that makes
multiverse.
Sense. It has been confirmed that they're gonna do another Hulk movie, but it's gonna be World War Hulk. We know it's gonna be World War Hulk. So to bring in the Illuminati on this makes sense because that's how Hulk gets to space to begin with. The Illuminati banding. They banned.
Where is this? Where did you hear this?
This is a while ago. I heard this when they were talking about doing a Hulk movie, and
that's in the comics.
The problem with the Hulk movie is Universal has to approve it. So that's the only problem. So if Universal says no, they don't do it. They have to approve the whole project in order for it to take release.
No, because you said confirmed. I thought you meant it was like they announced this.
Oh no, we know it's another. Well, we do know it's another Hulk movie. We just don't know when. We do know it's going to be World War Hulk. We just don't know when. It's been confirmed. That part's been confirmed. But with bringing in the Illuminati and all that makes sense because you would have to have them in there in order to send Hulk. If you do it like the comics, like Cook said, they're the ones that send Hulk away. Hulk, and it's kind of messed up because Hulk saved the planet. He literally saved the planet from ultimate destruction.
With what he did for Endgame and what he did with Thanos and hiding and not coming out and helping out, they should send his ass off because that was whack. We're not happy with Hulk.
Yeah, I hate what they did with the character.
That's not his fault. That's not Hulk's fault. They did that, and that's Universal's fault. Universal.
Yeah.
Hulk can't be in a movie and do too much. That's why he doesn't do too much anymore. He's in there, he does this, but he has to always be on screen with other characters at all times, and he can't do anything.
He can't have a solo
alone.
Movie. Yeah,
he can't have a solo, he can't have a solo. He can't do anything really solo in the movie either, in another person's movie. He has to be shown with other characters. That's the deal.
Ed Santos, what up, brother?
What's up?
Actually, and if I'm wrong, correct me, gentlemen. But with that scene when Hulk was in the ship, they actually pulled that from that storyline, because when he was in that ship, Illuminati was deciding in to send him to where the War Hulk take place at, but they changed it to him. Because that scene where he was fighting with and all that was, kind of in the mix of that. So, you know what I mean? But that's them, though. You know what I mean?
Nah. Jamalica Edwards, World War Hulk was not Ragnarok. World War Hulk happened like this. In the comic before that, Hulk goes on this really big rampage, and he kind of almost decimates the whole New York City.
Yeah.
They wound up stopping him, getting changed back to Banner or whatever the case may be. And then I forget the threat that was coming to Earth. Only Hulk could save him. So they were like, look, we're going to send Hulk into space to do it. Hulk agrees to do it. He gets up there. He completes the mission, saves the whole entire planet. And then on the screen, they said, well, Hulk, F you very much, but you got to go, baby. Oh, and by the way, thank you for saving the planet. And they shot him into deep space. And that was and they made the decision. The Illuminati made the decision to send him away.
Right.
And they were saying it was for the best because they can't stop the Hulk. I mean, when they do, it's very hard. It's at a very high price.
Yeah. No, they can't. They can't. They can't manage him. So, like you said, he voluntarily went off planet, and then since he's already out there, they had the power to bring him back or not, and they didn't. And they sent him off. And he goes way out and ends up on a planet that becomes World War.
Yeah, his ship crashes on Sakaar. His ship crashes on Sakaar. When he gets there, he has a few problems. His strength is gone. Sakaar's a different planet, so he has to adapt to the planet's gravity and all that. And then but slowly but surely, he gets his strength back and he gets everything back, and he comes back to Earth. But when he comes back to Earth, with a reckoning. Like, somebody got paid for this.
Yeah, somebody got to answer for that. Yeah. Cooks, what were you saying about Cooks? Say what you was gonna say about the storyline, Ragnarok.
Oh, he said it.
Oh, okay.
He straightened it out.
Yeah. Right. And man, we and this Thor movie too, God Butcher and all of that, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, they're kind of the same story. Those two movies are gonna run together.
I didn't know that.
I'm loving the fact that they're giving us all this cosmic Marvel now. I mean, we got a little taste of it, but we need to. I love it. I love the space opera stuff, so I'm super excited for Guardians and all of that. But and Guardians,
they're trying to bring Nova in though.
Nova, Nova. We're getting a Nova movie as well, and that's dope. And I have some pictures. Let me show you guys these. There we go. Yeah, I have some pictures of the new costumes for Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's dope because again, we're getting more comic book, direct from comic book accurate stuff, which is always exciting. I love it. And this is,
you know what? Shout out to the fans of comic books for voicing their opinion on that, because Wolverine, Marvel really kind of messed that up.
That's the original Star-Lord. Yeah, that's the original costume Star-Lord wears. And I guess the the Guardians, they have their own version of it. Obviously, there's Nebula, and that's one of the new costumes.
Because with Wolverine, we never got a comic accurate. I mean, we like Hugh Jackman, we love him as Wolverine, but they did us such a disservice. between that and Iron Fist. Iron Fist, yeah.
At least Hugh Jackman made like a reference to the original costume in the first X-Men movie. It's like, would you prefer yellow and blue spandex? So a little nod is appreciated, but yeah, I would have rather seen actual, at least close enough to the real costumes.
And and they showed the damn costume in the box.
The damn suitcase.
Put the fucking thing on.
They said no thanks.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say, had they just put him in the costume and put him in the movie would have been a blockbuster hit. It would have been over the top, because that was the one thing that was missing. And it's like you can't have, like Sada said before, trying to do a Spider-Man villain without Spider-Man, it just don't work. Trying to do Wolverine a movie without the costume, it's not believable.
Yeah. And they made several films with him, like just not in any costume. It's really crazy now that I think about it.
Yeah, because it's cool. Because in the comics, he often doesn't wear the costume unless he's like on a mission. So it's cool to show him with the T-shirt and all that. But like you said, we had X-Men Origins Wolverine, we had Logan, we had the Wolverine, obviously all the X-Men movies from Fox, then all the First Class X-Men movies. I mean, Wolverine's been in a shit ton of movies. To not have ever once donned the costume.
Like not once?
Not one time.
And Wolverine takes pride in that costume, man, because it's like, for him, it's like a calling card. Like when you see that costume, you know what's up. You already know who's coming for you, and you know how he's coming. And Wolverine, to wear that, even if they wanted to give us the blue and yellow, they could have gave us the brown and beige.
I want the brown and yellow. Yeah.
But like Reno said it before. Yeah, Reno said it before. Reno was like, look, if he's on a mission, he puts the costume on. There's no doubt about that. But if he's just lounging around, smoking cigars, talking trash, he's in a T-shirt and some jeans with a cowboy hat.
Although I think Reno will agree with this. I want to see him in a nice X-Force costume.
Oh,
the black and gray.
Man.
Please, Lord.
Black and gray. They could have gave us that master. They didn't give us anything. They didn't give us any. It was like they purposely didn't do it. Same thing with Iron Fist. But the director came out and said that. He said, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting him in the costume.
He sucks.
Quinn, you're right. Like Thor and the Gladiator and all of that.
That's true.
There was definitely aspects that they used.
Yeah. So that's true, Jamal. Yeah, that's true. Right they did. Yeah, you're right about that 100%.
They're also... No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like to a point of that, it's gonna be kind of hard for them to do a World War Hulk. They're gonna have to come up with some other kind of storyline, since they did already go to Sakaar and they did the Gladiator and everything. So
it's gotta be a whole new thing, because we're already at the point where Professor Hulk is here. So no, I don't know.
That's true. And but having the Illuminati now in the MCU, that was one of the biggest, most impactful things they did, besides saving the Earth from in Hickman's Avengers, you had the event where there was the multiverse of every Earth in the multiverse was colliding. So as they collided, they destroyed each other, and it was coming to our Earth, and the Illuminatis and the Mr. Fantastics and the Council of Reeds and all these on every multiverse was doing different things. Some weren't acting at all. Some didn't know about it. But so our Earth 616 Illuminati, they have to stop the Earth from colliding and destroying everything, and stop the multiverses from collapsing. And I won't give it away because it's one of the best reads I've ever read in comics. Hickman's Avengers. Look up Hickman's Avengers if you haven't read it yet. Believe me, it's one of the best things you'll ever read in comics, period. But yeah, man, Guardians and Thor, like after a few years hiatus, the Guardians are definitely coming back in a big way. The crew's gonna be joining Thor in Thor Love and Thunder, as the story will explore what Thor and the Guardians have been doing since they were last seen together at the end of Avengers Endgame. And then Guardians are going to have their own holiday special with James Gunn directing. And the only details fans know about the special are that the Guardians will be returning to Earth and that Kevin Bacon may have a role. But fans have been quick to notice that Batista has not been wearing. Well, okay. The guy, I feel bad, but he so Gunn did confirm that the Guardians holiday special will tie directly into the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie, so fans will see the special to know what's going on with the crew before they return for the third installment. But sadly, fans know that some of the Guardians cast won't return. I'm sorry?
I read on Twitter it's the final installment, and this is after this last movie, they're disbanding.
Well,
the original cast is disbanding.
Well, as you know, the whole cast won't be there for after this film, but with Will Poulter starring as Adam Warlock, fans know that this will definitely be a crazy movie. But no one knows who's gonna live or who's gonna die. As Gunn did tease that his work on DC's The Suicide Squad did influence Guardians 3, and now fans have gotten a first look at Drax as he is filming, and fans were quick to notice that he doesn't he's wearing a shirt, he's fully clothed, and his pleas to have a shirt on have come to fruition, and as he sports a new shirt as part of his costume. But on top of this, fans began to comment on his figure. One fan quickly assumes that Batista has given up on Drax, as he assumes this will be the last Guardians movie. He said Drax looks like he's done with everything, considering that Dave Bautista is going to quit playing Drax. He just let himself go. Another fan notices that something off with Drax. He says something doesn't feel right about Drax. But yeah, they've been fat shaming him a little bit. They said Drax has been loving those dark nuts.
Batista went on record as saying said, I can't. I'm in my 50s, late 50s, and I can't keep running around with no shirt on. He said the workout regimen I got to do to keep my chest,
I already know it's insane.
He said, He said I can't do it. He said I just can't keep doing it. And he also said he wanted a cheeseburger. That's what he said. He said I want a cheeseburger.
It's like Iron Man.
I can't keep running around with no shirt. Yeah, he said. I want a cheeseburger. He said I'm in my late 50s.
Yeah,
I can't keep doing this.
Fans are like, he's giving up on working out, But like I said, it like you said, he already told us he was going to do this. He doesn't want to keep it up. It's too much. It's a lot. Yeah. So we know he gave up. But another fan shared that Drax must be on the same diet as Fat Thor. Said Drax been on that Fat Thor diet. Wow. But while fans may have loved Drax's humor, it seems that they aren't a big fan of his new look, and this isn't the first time fans have attacked an actor recently for their body figure, as Star Wars fans nicknamed Tamora Morrison Boba Fett. Remember, after his iconic return in The Mandalorian? And while Morrison was able to poke fun at that, Batista may not take the comments as well, because he's an ex-wrestler who has definitely kept his body in good shape for years, so it wouldn't be easy for fans to start making comments about his body now. And it's also possible that this may not be the best look at Drax in these photos at the angle. He probably don't look that bad. They are just set photos, but the MCU is just beginning to add more superhero teams to the Marvel universe, because now the Avengers, their parts of their crew is gone or incapable. They need help. And it's only a matter of time before we see Young Avengers, Illuminati, Defenders, Midnight Suns, X-Men, Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolts, West Coast Avengers, because Moon Knight's in West Coast Avengers, so it makes me think that we might get some West Coast Avengers, or they might mix the team, sort of West Coast and Young, because we got Kate Bishop, we had Patriot, you know what I'm saying? And Phase 4 has started off with a lot of content for Marvel fans to look forward to in the cinematic universe, man. And you can expect more episodes of Moon Knight, because I think they might be doing another season of that.
I hope they do. I'm looking forward to the last episode on Wednesday.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's supposed to be short. It's supposed to be only 42 minutes. They say it's the shortest of any Marvel episode finale in the history of finales. Yeah, it's 42
it's the
minutes.
one show that needed an hour-long finale.
Well, that just makes me think it's going to be like one hell of an episode. If they're going to make it shorter, you're going to get a lot.
I hope so, bro.
I've seen the. Have you guys seen the sort of trailer for the episode?
No.
Oh no, I haven't seen.
Dude, there's some dope action. I mean, there's some dope shit. Moon Knight's suited up. He's fighting wizards and shit. It's gonna be dope. But there's a genius Moon Knight villain theory that could create a major finale twist and correct some confusing plot points about Harrow. Moon Knight is an otherwise unconventional MCU show that has fewer action sequences and more cerebral moments focused on character development. And a lot of people have complained about that. A lot of people just wanted more action, more Moon Knight, more fighting. But it's definitely a more dramatic, like I said, cerebral, storyline, character development. It seems like a big, giant, long origin story. But not only does the show introduce Oscar Isaac's Mark Spector and his role as the Avatar, the Egyptian moon god Khonshu, but it develops the MCU's Egyptian lore, which carries over. Because remember, all these MCU shows have connections to future movies. That's been confirmed. Feige said so. That's the whole deal about it. So if Moon Knight isn't gonna be in some shit, the Egyptian lore is going to be part of something. And Harrow is the central, bad guy. He's the main villain. He's the one played by Ethan Hawke. He's kind of like, reminds me of like a David Koresh,
Sorry.
No, you're good. And by attracting followers to join the Egyptian goddess Amet's cause. And I think there's a lot to already be to be said about how Moon Knight's Arthur Harrow differs from his comic book counterpart, in which he was an Auschwitz-connected scientist in the Mexican jungle. The differences may end up growing even further. In the show, he is Mark Spector's predecessor, right? He was Moon Knight first. He was Khonshu's first avatar. According to him, he left Khonshu after disagreeing with his notion of justice and opted for Amet's approach to punish, bad guys before they commit the sin, right? Before they do wrong. However, looking closely, there are discrepancies to his Amet connection. According to this Reddit theory that is brilliant, Arthur is actually Anubis, the god of the dead, who oversees the scales of justice. That's Anubis's job. Anubis is the one with the dog head, looks like a Doberman. That's Anubis. I had a miniature Doberman named Anubis, but I love Anubis. But Anubis is actually the underworld's prime judge and worked alongside Amet, who was in charge of eating impure hearts. Anubis would do the scales. Amet would eat the bad guys' hearts. Stephen and Mark's foray through the afterlife in episode 5, which ends with Stephen falling into the Duat, into the sands, should have been overseen by Anubis, not Taweret. Is that not the hippopotamus? That was not the hippopotamus. Like, if you guys know, I know a lot about Egyptian, mythology and stuff, and that's not Taweret's job. But the theory on Reddit states that both Anubis and Amet were cast out of the Ennead after an uprising to take over the judgment of souls completely. They wanted to, be able to do the whole thing, judge, jury, executioner. In doing so, Anubis is now mortal and is on a path to free his partner, Amet. There is, of course, more to the theory worth explaining. Harrow speaks of Amet's judgment throughout Moon Knight. When in Egyptian mythology, she had no actual hand in judging souls. Steven describes her in Moon Knight episode 1 as the world's first boogeyman, and he's not far off. Ammit wasn't worshipped, she was feared by ancient Egyptians. It's odd that she'd have followers, especially supposedly good people. Another big indicator that Arthur's Ammit link hardly makes sense is the mysterious Moon Knight jackals. Remember how he got chased by that dog?
Mm-hmm.
They called it the jackals. Anubis has the jackal head, so it would make much more sense, because Harrow is releasing these things, for the jackals to be associated with him instead of the crocodile-headed Ammit. So Anubis has to be involved if they're in any way going to be sticking to real Egyptian mythology. Arthur's scale tattoo is another great indicator, because while Ammit was seated by the scales of justice, Anubis actually was the one that used them, like Harrow does. The scales belong to Anubis, not Ammit. And a final and rather major indicator that Arthur's Ammit link doesn't make sense is the glaring fact that she's supposed to be imprisoned. It's introduced in episode 3 that Khonshu cannot have an avatar during his imprisonment. So it becomes confusing that despite Ammit needing to be freed, Harrow retains his Moon Knight powers. Even if it would seem that Ammit's powers are contained in Arthur's cane, it's still odd that her powers can be accessed at all. Because if she's imprisoned, remember when Khonshu gets imprisoned, Mark Spector can't summon the suit. He's got no powers. Remember, he told him that. He was like, you ain't gonna have me, you ain't gonna have these powers when he's in prison, right? Well, Ammit's supposed to be in that same prison. So how is Arthur her avatar with powers? You see what I'm saying?
Damn good point.
And Tawaret is the goddess of fertility and motherhood, whose role in the afterlife was to protect the hippopotamus. Her role was to protect the souls traveling through Duat. And while she does serve this role in Moon Knight in episode 5 for Mark and Steven, she oddly also does Anubis's job by weighing their hearts on the scales. That's Anubis's job. Indications that she's not well versed in the role are her note cards that she's pleasantly surprised reaction to successfully removing Mark and Steven's hearts. Right? Remember, she was like, "Oh, that worked." Like this is not her normal role. Clearly, she's not used to doing this. Right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even though her inexperience can be due to the fact that the Duat is only one of many afterlife planes in existence, and that therefore souls don't always travel through the Duat, she's still playing a role that has otherwise been delegated to Anubis. And the Tawaret mistake is easily forgiven by the potential notion that Anubis is no longer allowed in the Duat to play his part. Noticing also that Ammit is no longer serving her role as the devourer of the dead to her imprisonment. It would make sense for Anubis to be entirely elsewhere. And this theory that he secretly is Anubis, it's important to note that the clues point to him being Anubis himself, not Anubis not Anubis's avatar, but him actually being Anubis. In the Ennead gathering in episode 3, Harrow was sunk. He was never called by any god's name, unlike the other avatars were. Gotta notice this shit. So as far as it is as his supposed history of being Khonshu's avatar, this still may be the case. According to the Reddit theory, Khonshu's former Moon Knight banishment was related to Anubis and Ammit's uprising. Khonshu parted ways from Anubis and chose to fight against his cause. Yet in the final effort to potentially redeem his now mortal friend, Khonshu turned Harrow/Anubis into his avatar. However, because Anubis disagreed with Khonshu's form of justice, animosity, grew between them, made them grow apart. And Anubis probably became mortal through means unknown to the gods, considering that none of the gods recognized him during the Ennead gathering as Anubis. It's odd, however, that the gods would still not notice Harrow's soul judging powers. then again, this may be another of Anubis's tricks, because the Ennead seems to recognize Harrow as nothing more than Khonshu's former avatar and never questions why he's doing the things that Taweret later regards as evil. Why is Khonshu's former avatar even here? What is, you know what I mean? Like, why does he have any authority? But in a shot that proves Thanos' Infinity War snapped to be worse than perceived, Moon Knight episode 5 shows souls who die before their time go straight to the Duat for eternal punishment. By judging souls in the upper world, Harrow is sending countless people to that same doom. Considering that Ammit devours unbalanced hearts, it's unclear whether the souls falling in the Duat are those eaten by a now freed Ammit, or if the souls now falling to the Duat are those whom Arthur judged previously. And, you know, Harrow, he convincingly builds the story that his powers and judgment are purely due to the fact that he's a follower of Ammit. His explanations for having the cane and the scales tattoo could also be easily dismissed as lies motivated by his need to stay in hiding. The Moon Knight Ned Flanders reference, remember when he's like, little Ned Flanders, suggests that Harrow may not actually be as evil as he seems, but that greatly depends on why souls are falling straight into the Duat in episode 5. Anubis could be sacrificing impure souls to later be devoured by Ammit. And as the Reddit theory suggests, yet unbeknownst to Anubis, souls cannot actually be preserved for Ammit. So another explanation is that Anubis doesn't care about what actually happens to the souls, yet this would make his adamant search for Ammit strange. But even though there are plenty of things that need to be resolved in this last episode, because there's a shit ton to unpack if they're going to do this right, from bringing Mark Spector back into the upper world to freeing Khonshu, providing that Arthur Harrow is really Anubis would be a massive twist for the finale. It would be something that, like, okay, this is something, you know what I mean? Like, in an interview, the director Mohammed Daeed teased a few finale surprises. He's which is saying something for a show that already killed its main character off and put him in a seemingly inescapable situation. As strange as Anubis, the Anubis Harrow twist would be, it would still align with everything the show has established about the character. Even the show's opening scene of Arthur putting glass in his shoe as a potential penance would align with a god who secretly escaped imprisonment yet feels deserving of punishment. Because I watched that episode today and I had completely forgotten that the very opening scene is him putting glass in his shoes, and he puts on the shoes, right, and he walks off. And I was like, damn, I totally forgot about that, because they never talked about it again.
It never came up again.
Never came up again. They never alluded to him having glass in his shoe or any sort of self-punishment or anything. So it was a forgotten scene for me. I had completely forgot. But regarding an Anubis twist, one of Moon Knight episode 4's trapped gods appears to be Anubis. The statues in the wall of imprisoned gods looks like it's in the top right corner, and it's unclear where trapped gods actually go when they're imprisoned, but it's possible that Anubis Harrow managed to circumvent or circumnavigate around the gods because he's mortal, so they don't, he doesn't track, therefore his statue is still there. Considering that Moon Knight is a limited series, it's unlikely that this finale is going to bring up any new questions that couldn't be resolved within the episode. But an Anubis twist, however, could be reasonably resolved and would be entirely appropriate. I think it's a brilliant theory.
So I got a question. What are your guys' thoughts on any kind of reference to them bringing in Ramatut? Since they're going heavy on the Egyptian, we already got one version of Kang. What about Ramatut being hidden somewhere in the last episode?
Well,
I never thought of that.
I'd like to say between Masha and Reno, that's a whole lot for 42 minutes.
Yeah.
I just want to go on record saying that. I mean, it's very knowledgeable. I get it, man. Like, and I even kind of look at it different now. But 42 minutes, Listen, they're gonna have.
Or has it been like alluded to at this point?
Am I gonna get all of that in 40? That's gonna take up
all
the whole 42
no, look. Me explaining it all took a while because I'm breaking it all down. But show, all they got to do is go, I'm Anubis.
Nah. They got to do a little more than that for
but what I'm saying is, but in essence, all he has to do is say who he is. They don't have to unpack the whole. This is why he's Anubis, and
no, they got to do
and all that. We already saw it all. We already saw
what they do, Reno.
They got to do. Nah,
like, it would be dope, it'd be dope if he just ripped off his skin. Like, it'd be dope if he just ripped off his skin and
down.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like I'm Anubis. Like, that'd be dope. And then we just went into the episode because we only got 42 minutes. But they're gonna do like you said. They're gonna explain why he's Anubis. That's gonna take up 10 minutes. So now I'm down to what? 32 minutes. In the episode.
Possible way. There's no possible way, dude. There's no way, dude, that they could fit any of the shit that they got to fit into 40 minutes. So I have no faith in them really tying any of this shit off with a neat bow.
Hey,
that's why there's going to be a season 2.
I'm okay with this theory if there's like a confirmed season 2. Then okay, sure, whatever. But if there's not, what's going on?
The very last second of the show, that's when he's going to rip his skin off and be like, I'm Anubis, and then they're going to go black.
What?
Just black screen, be like, what the?
And then right after that, release a tweet, confirm season 2. Okay, you got it.
What Master said about Rama Tut, that's Nathaniel Richards, that's Kang.
Mm-hmm.
So
we know that's
what
Kang,
I'm saying about the Egyptian lore is gonna end up in the movies. So it's not. I know a lot of people were like, Moon Knight's not
maybe
gonna
it's introducing. Maybe this is how we get Kang. Maybe this is how they introduce Kang to us.
Well, I wouldn't mind the Kang thing like hidden, and then people would be like, oh, what's that? Like I wouldn't mind that. I think the Anubis thing though would just take up too much time to properly explain.
But don't forget the last episode of Loki. They already alluded once to Rama-Tut with the Sphinx and that little like out edge of the timeline kind of thing. They already alluded to it a little bit. So I would love for for them to make an actual like drop the name, mysteriously talk about this god kind of thing that like nods at it being Rama-Tut.
Because something has to happen. We have to see this. The crocodile god has to happen. We got to see what the hell Harrow is. Like, is he Anubis? Like, what is he? And what's the point? Is he just some nutty, cult leader? Hey, shit.
That's what got spoused from. He's a mutant.
Right. Is he a cult leader that voted for Trump and now he's trying to get more voters? We don't know.
These are the questions that have to be answered.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh man.
Listen,
Cooks, what do you think?
He's like, wait.
As far as that the part about him explaining who what the call is, if that does happen, from the way these shows go, I can see it happening like as soon as it come on, like that'll be the first thing we see. As far as like any type of little backstory, back issue type thing, whatever, like we'll see it as soon as it come on.
Like a thing from like the past, like a flashback.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe like they do that a lot.
Yeah, they do.
They do that a lot. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? As far as the whole storyline goes, it was confusing at first. You know what I'm saying? But this last one kind of made me understand better because with him falling in that pit, I was, it kind of gave you that thought of, that one little thought of like, how is he gonna get out of this? Because it's like it's almost like he's still underwater and he's trapped in his mind at the same time. So I'm like, oh, okay, I see what y'all trying to do now. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much all I got. I mean, it's so. I can't think of the word, but it's just so wide. It's like they giving us so much inside. They just giving us so much. So I hope they don't just cram 42 minutes of You know what I'm saying? And don't try to play it off with just a bunch of action scenes either. Because I still want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. I think. I mean, I saw a lot of action scenes, so I think there's definitely gonna be some action. But yeah, they gotta unpack a whole lot of explaining. But see, Stephen Grant, my son made a point about Stephen getting tossed off the boat into the sand. He's like, well, it's just a personality of Mark Spector. It's not a guy, right? It's not a real guy. It's just a personality. So, and also, what the fuck, Jake Lockley. They've literally solidified the fact that there's a third personality, not only at shit going on in the show that neither Mark or Steven could explain or knew about, but my son was showing me today all the promotional art for all this. There's always three. There's Mr. Knight, there's Moon Knight, and then there's a unmasked Oscar Isaac, but in another costume. He's got like a hood. He looks almost like an Assassin's Creed character. It's a costume we never saw so far in the show. So
is it the one? Is it the one? Reno? Is it the one moon? Is it a Moon Knight? Does he have a Moon Knight? Because there is a Moon Knight that has he's like a Cobra Commander hood, and he looks sort of like what you saying.
No.
I actually have a comic. I actually have a comic with him on the cover like that.
Yeah, I have that. Yeah, but no, it's the Mr. Knight from the show and the Moon Knight costume from the show on either side, and in the middle, it's Oscar Isaac with a loose sort of baggy kind of robe thing with a hood, but you can see his face. And the Moon Knight costume, that the hooded Moon Knight costume, he's standing right there. Mr. Knight, the suit and tie dude, he's standing right there. And there's like 3 different promotional posters like that, and they all have 3 dudes. Damn, Reno, your theory sounds way better than the one read about. You wouldn't believe who they were trying to say who Harold could possibly be. And to be clear, this is not my theory. This is not my theory. The Anubis thing isn't my theory. It's just a theory from Reddit that someone made that makes shit ton of sense. But Jamila Point, who
way longer than 42 minutes?
Yeah, who are they saying that he could be?
Now, wait, what's going on? who were they saying?
We'll see. We'll just have to wait till Wednesday and see. But here's something else I can throw at y'all to chew on that might make a little more sense. Sam Raimi went on record with Rolling Stone saying that Kraven the Hunter will probably be the next villain in the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's confirmed. Kraven is definitely.
Now he said that he also went and said that he wanted to do Kraven in a Tobey Maguire film, but they threw it around so much that it never came to light. Like, it literally was on the table, but they just never got around to doing it, and other stuff came up, and that's how we got that third bad Spider-Man movie, when we should have just got Kraven on that third one instead of Venom. But
I blocked that Venom out of my mind. That
I thought it was Vulture that they wanted to do also, and then I didn't know it was Kraven too. That's interesting.
They said, he said that Kraven was somebody. His reasoning was this. He said that Kraven is a live act, like Kraven and Spider-Man in the comics had a lot of battles, and he said to have a live action Kraven and a live action Spider-Man battling on top of a rooftop, like in the comics, and Spider-Man with his banter and Kraven with, Kraven has his little banter as well, coming back at each other, and he said he thought that would be something that would be amazing, and they just always talked about it, drew it up, but it just never came to light on, in the film. But he said that this time around that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're aiming for. That's what they're gonna do. He said the only problem is figuring out who's gonna play Kraven.
Well, okay, so this is different from the live action one that we're getting with what's his name who played Quicksilver. This will be a different Kraven.
No, this will be this will be Craven, because he even said that he'll have the lion vest. Like he said, he drew it up and everything. The lion vest.
Well, you've seen it. Well, they showed him. They showed. That's why they showed Craven in the in the last Spider-Man movie, the 3 Spider-Man movies. Craven's in the scene where they where the sky is ripped open and Doctor Strange is there, and you see the like a bunch of purple silhouettes.
See the shadows, right? You see all the silhouettes,
you can see Rhino, you can see Craven very clearly. But yeah, they already confirmed. They talked about it. But back to Moon Knight about them having a season 2. Calling it
we better get a damn season 2 on that one.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Let me read this to y'all real quick. According to Variety, Marvel planned to submit Hawkeye and Moon Knight for Emmys consideration in limited series category, a field reserved for shows that tell a complete non-recurring story and have and not have an ongoing storyline or main characters in subsequent seasons, per Television Academy rules and regulations. But after pulling Loki for consideration as a limited series, the God of Mischief will return in a second season, revealed in a mid-credit scene. Marvel's Moon Knight may rise again. After Marvel Studios teased the epic series finale in a Moon Knight finale trailer released on Monday, fans on social media noticed the wording changed from series finale to season finale. And someone posted on Twitter, "Oh my, Marvel Studios deleted the tweet that said series finale and changed it to season finale. Please tell me we're getting a season 2. I need more Oscar Isaac, more time. We need more Moon Knight."
42 minutes. I definitely need another season.
Calling it a season finale as opposed to a series finale in the original tweet before it was deleted implies that we're getting another season. I mean, Moon Knight season 2 announcement incoming. One fan tweeted in response to the change, wrote another, "The fact that it says season finale instead of series finale gives me hope for a second season. The fact that it originally said series finale and they changed it to season finale gives me a lot of hope. If it just said season finale and people were, running with that, reaching, but it said series finale. They changed it to season finale, and I think that says that speaks volumes. So yeah, it says fans are now hopeful for Marvel Studios will reveal a Moon Knight season 2 in a mid or post credit scene ending on Wednesday's season finale. So we'll see something on Wednesday is gonna give us, and yeah, maybe it's a 40-minute show because there's like a 5-minute after credit scene. Or a 10-minute one. I don't know.
That means even less time towards the actual
episode. No, I'm saying like you get the whole 40-minute show, then there's a post-credit scene.
Oh, okay. I get you.
If that was the case. Yeah, but it said they said we all agreed that this show is what we're going to focus on. This is the story, said Oscar Isaac. And if there's any kind of future, I think it just depends on if people like it, if people want to see more, and if we find a story that's worth telling. And Oscar Isaac, he's not like, he don't care. Like he said he didn't care about there being another series or anything. He said it doesn't matter so much. He said alongside Isaac in the cast, Moon Knight includes Ethan Hawke's hair. No, he said Oscar Isaac reveals that Moon Knight's Marvel Cinematic Universe future, quote, doesn't matter so much to the star, and he praises the show's standalone nature. So he's happy with it. Just being, but that's cool, bro.
That could be his way of throwing off the curve of anything future coming.
Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, because after that last X-Men movie where he was Apocalypse,
he needs redemption.
He doesn't need redemption. Now he plays a good Poe Dameron. I like him as Poe Dameron. I really do.
All right.
But as Apocalypse, no. As Moon Knight, yes. I think he knocks it out the park.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with Apocalypse. I don't know why
You guys saw that original Power Rangers movie, right?
Yeah. People were saying Ivan Ooze. Yeah. People like Ivan.
I looked at it. I was like, damn, somebody brought him back.
But yeah, he did. I haven't seen it, but he definitely looked like a Power Rangers villain.
Oh,
on the TV show. That was bad. I think Apocalypse should be a black actor anyway. I don't know why. I just see Apocalypse as a black character. For some reason.
I see him as like a blue purple guy.
I mean, no, but if he was, originally Egyptian, if he was originally Egyptian, it would make sense.
Yeah, and he kind of, he always, I don't know, I always looked at, I just saw him that way, and yeah, like I said, ancient Egyptian. Yeah. A lot of characters that I feel like Destro. I always thought Destro was black as a kid. Finding out he's Scottish.
I did too. Yeah, I did too. But he's Scottish. Yeah, I did too.
He did always have that. Like, was the voice actor black?
That dude sound African as hell. Well, the actor that played him was black. The voice actor that played him was black.
I thought so. Same thing. I would, not that it really matters, but yeah, he's always sounded more like a black guy who chromed out his head.
Right.
And Kingpin's another one who in the comics we couldn't tell what his nationality was, and then he was portrayed as being African American
in the movie. And Daredevil
right now, this movie's portrayed as being a Caucasian guy, but in the comics we always thought he was black.
In the comics, he's white. In the comics, he's white.
Yeah.
The way they draw him sometimes, the way the earlier Daredevils, the way they draw him, I always thought he was. I'm not even gonna lie, I always thought he was, because they would kind of make him kind of dark. He was never really
more shadowy kind of thing.
Yeah, like he was
in the shadows. Okay, all right. I guess
I always thought he was, bro. Like
we'll give you a little bone.
Yeah, but I will tell you right now. Oh my God, what the hell's his name? Who played him in the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck?
D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio.
No. In
Michael
the Daredevil
movie.
Oh, the guy that died. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Michael Duncan.
I absolutely loved him in that role. He just had that.
Yeah, he was great.
Build. Oh my God, I would have loved
it.
Awesome. God rest his soul. I would have loved it if he would have if he was still around right now and he somehow bring him in, with the multiverse, have both him and Vincent D'Onofrio, however you said it, have them both like end up in the scene together. Like that would have been badass.
So great.
They both did
we can't get that.
Way.
We'd have to CG him in. We'd have to CG.
Which I feel like that would be a slap in the face. So
they could do it so well, though, right? They have the deep fake. I mean, they could CGI him in. But they could.
Yeah, I don't think that would be doing him I think that would be doing him a disservice for how fantastic of a job he did back then.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it would be right. It would be like Chadwick Boseman or something like CGIing Chadwick Boseman, like putting his head on another actor. Like they did this with Bruce Lee. That's the horrible shit. They did that with Bruce Lee in Game of Death when he died during filming, and they just had another actor play him, and they literally photo imposed his face on the guy. And this is pre-CGI, so it looked really bad. It was like a cutout. It looked like a cutout, really bad. And
like when they put Paul Walker's face on his brother at the end of that last Fast and Furious.
I feel like that kind of worked because the brother
worked a little bit.
A little like Paul. Yeah. He looked a lot like him actually. So I felt like that was okay.
Don't forget Carrie Fisher. Did Carrie Fisher? And Grand Moff Tarkin. Don't forget Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yep, Tarkin.
They did a good job with Tarkin.
Yeah. They did a horrible job with Luke Skywalker, and but they
not in that last episode. They did a pretty decent job in that last episode.
They fixed it. They fixed it in the where he had the.
Well, they hired that guy that came out on social media, and he was like, "Yo," it was like that was trash. I could do a better job, and he did it.
Yep.
And he put it up, and they were like, "You're hired."
Yeah, they deep fake shit.
Shoot your
Sometimes
shot.
you got to trash talk to get your shot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
That's true. That's true.
That's right.
Like Cooks always say, shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll still be amongst the stars.
I don't remember saying that, but it sounds good though.
So I'll take credit for that.
Sounds good to me.
I'll take it. Yeah,
now,
man.
what the thing with Spider-Man, I wanted to point out with Craven is that since they keep doing all these solo Spider-Man villains in their own movies, the history of Craven would actually give them a door to do a Craven solo movie, because Craven, he boasts about being the world's greatest hunter. But he also is kind of like an anti-hero, but in order for Craven to have respect for you, which he has a lot of respect for Spider-Man, he can sometimes shift his role midway through and be on your team, or just be, if a bigger threat came along, Craven would be like, look, we gotta work together, let's get this done. So that would kind of open the door for them to do something like that with him. Because you got to remember, Craven also worked with the unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and a few other heroes or villains that he teamed up with. But Craven is very chivalrous, and his whole thing is rooted in honor and integrity. So if something goes his way or doesn't go his way, depending on his version of honor, he could be swayed to be an anti-hero. So
you're saying that they would make another Morbius, another Venom, another Spider-Man villain movie without Spider-Man.
Right, but this time we would get him in a Spider-Man movie, and then without a Spider-Man movie, which would make more sense.
Yeah, Sam Raimi, he says that he had Craven in mind for Spider-Man 4. He did a sit down with Rolling Stone, and he said that he wanted Craven the Hunter to be the next villain for the Tobey Maguire version of the hero. And a lot of the reporting after the fallout of Sam Raimi's exit pointed to the Vulture as a bad guy. However, the plans might not have been so simple to predict. The director seems to indicate that he was in between deciding, but his gut was leaning toward Craven. And after all, the Hunter has never squared off against Spidey in live action yet. And it would have been fun to see who got cast for that role back then, because of the charisma required to banter with Spidey and that Craven has, and dressed in a friggin' lion fur vest. You'd have to be. It would be interesting, and it seems like the director, Sam Raimi, is not going to have to wait to see Craven, because Sony has definitely greenlit the movie with him. Who is it? Raimi said, let me read this quote. He said, that was one of the possibilities. We had other things in mind too, but that was one of them. And I missed Craven the Hunter. We were going to work that character into the next Spider-Man. I always wanted to see Craven fight Spider-Man on the big screen. I thought that it would be really unique. He's the ultimate hunter, and Spider-Man is like the most agile trickster of the skies. And I wanted to see Peter continue forward as a human being. And recently, Fandango asked the director about the idea of, a Maguire to revisit the franchise. All fans all over the world are asking for Spider-Man 4, a Sam Raimi, and all Sony would have to do is say yes. He's leaving the door open, because with the multiverse now, anything is possible. He said, I've come to realize after making Doctor Strange that anything is possible. Really anything in the Marvel universe, any team ups. He said, I love Toby. I love Kirsten Dunst. Not me. I think that all things are possible. I don't really have a story or a plan. I don't know if Marvel would be interested in that right now. I don't know what their thoughts are about that. I haven't really pursued it, but it sounds beautiful. Even if it wasn't a Spider-Man movie, I'd love to work with Toby again in a different role. Yeah, so it's kind of all over the place, but they can do whatever they want now. I mean, he
just
said
like putting Wolverine in the costume. Do that.
Do it.
So what
if they do like a fourth, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You Oh, okay. I was just saying if they do a fourth Spider-Man movie, I don't know if I really want Sony involved, because when they did get involved, like around like the third movie, that's when there was like a lot of studio interference. I feel like it just went downhill. So I feel like if they do it, I don't know. I don't really want Sony
out of it.
involved. That should, just maybe stay out.
Yeah. I mean,
we still didn't get a third movie for what's his name? For Amazing
Andrew Garfield.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield.
Although I did hear talks after the last Spider-Man movie, now there might actually greenlit to have a third Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movie.
But it's gonna be a while because Garfield took a break from acting, so it's gonna be a while if that happens.
Yeah. Well, so my question is: have you guys seen anything about Bruce Campbell being in Doctor Strange?
No.
So there's a thing about Bruce Campbell, but they didn't have like a character name. So the one thing out of everything else that I'm really hoping for is to see Ash from Evil Dead Army of Darkness when they see like all the zombie versions. I want to see him make a cameo and like shoot somebody with his boomstick. I want to see something like that happen.
That would be dope.
With the chainsaw hand.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys have read all the original Marvel zombie line, but the reason why the virus happened is because Bruce Campbell, Ash got transported to that Earth, and then the Necronomicon, the virus, and everything followed with them, the Deadites and everything. So I'm really hoping like that, even if it's like a quick 2-second thing, I'm gonna scream like a little girl in the movie theater. I'm gonna jump up and down Thursday night and just cry.
That's how I feel when I saw Professor X floating yellow chair, man. I started running around the room, man.
Dude, you were actually the first thing in my mind as soon as I saw that. I was like, yo, Reno's gonna tweak over that one.
I almost lost it, man. But it's funny because my very first co-host, DJ Tiger, asked us one time. He was like, "What did y'all think about if they did a Star Wars and Marvel crossover movie, like linking, like somehow having the characters in each other's universe and doing a Star Wars Marvel movie?" And while I don't think that sounds like a great movie, the Multiverse of Madness, they're saying like they were filtering through like the universes in the scene, and apparently, some people thought they saw Mustafar, like they might show some Star Wars shit as they're going through, the multiverse, and that would make more sense. But with both Marvel and Star Wars existing under the Disney umbrella, there's been the odd question or two about whether the two iconic franchises could ever cross over with one another in a meaningful way that would actually make sense. And the MCU has referred to the galaxy far, far away a couple of times, like when Peter Parker's nod to episode 5 in Captain America Civil War. But the connections pretty much end there. But as the MCU's next adventure, Doctor Strange 2 has the opportunity to travel across all the different worlds and universes, which will bring in Marvel legacy characters like Patrick Stewart's Professor X. But now, thanks to the latest clip that debuted before the movie's worldwide release, there may be reason to expect something we've never seen. Marvel Studios released a new 17-second clip from Doctor Strange's multiverse showing Doctor Strange jumping through the different universes alongside America Chavez. And through this jump, Strange and Chavez appear to go through a world filled with rocky mountains and lava flowing everywhere, and numerous fans online have begun to point out that the world looks eerily similar to the lava planet Mustafar from Lucasfilm's Star Wars franchise. Mustafar also made an appearance in 2021's animated MCU series What If, as the Infinity Ultron fought Jeffrey Wright's Watcher. So, and that was actually Mustafar that was in the What If show. So they have done this before. They have put Star Wars in Marvel movies, as crazy as that sounds. And both projects show the big buildings that sit on the mountainside, with the mountain, with the lava that flows down from the cliffs and like lava waterfalls. And, fans have definitely seen this this location when Anakin and Obi-Wan fight at the end of episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And as was the case in What If, the clip of Doctor Strange traveling through the multiverse only showed off about like a second of the footage from Mustafar, if that's truly what the clip is meant to imply. Even so, seeing that iconic landmark just for a second, though, is enough to have Marvel and Star Wars fans excited to see where this could end up in the Multiverse MCU sequel. And considering the clip's already out in the open ahead of Doctor Strange 2 premiere this week, a nod to Star Wars could be the start of something where Marvel Studios is going to be within the story with Star Wars and Marvel. But I don't know, what do y'all think about that? Like, do you think that they should do anything beyond just what they've done, like showing Mustafar or showing, a Star Wars world? Like, what would you guys think about Luke Skywalker and Star-Lord meeting and talking and having interactions?
I think that'd be funny. What I would love to see is Poe and Mark Spector run into each other.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. I don't know if it needs to happen on that scale. I don't know. I feel like it's not necessary, but that's just me.
Well, Reno, no, you that's kind of like not too far out there of a thought, because Star-Lord and them, they bounce around different planets. What if they ended up in the same kind of salvage planet that Luke happens to be at, or the Mandalorian, or something, and they do, they have a little bit of a scene together to kind of as a big nod that they do exist, and then kind of walk away from it.
God, I hope not. God, I hope not. I really don't want to see those universes existing on the same screen.
Yeah,
more than they already kind of teased at it.
Stu, are you Stu? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I think you're muted.
I was wondering why he wasn't saying that, but you're not on mute.
Nah.
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm on. Yeah.
I
said I wouldn't want to. Star Wars, no. It's just no.
Nah.
One big no.
I wouldn't want that either, but it'd be funny.
No tomorrow.
It would be funny.
A cameo, yes. A cameo, yes. No next week. No next year. No when I'm dead and gone. Look at my gravestone and say no. But I just
no.
No, just no. But because Star Wars has its own place, man. And I know Marvel has Star Wars and Disney has Star Wars. Marvel Comics does Star Wars, but to be honest with you, it's a lot of unanswered questions in Star Wars and a lot of holes that need to be filled. Let's get that together first before we start branching out. Now, what I would like to see a crossover in the Marvel Universe is Transformers and G.I. Joe. We can talk about that all day.
Please.
Now, let's break it down.
Before we get that, though, I do want to. Before we do that, though, I want to see a live action Transformers that's not that Michael Bay shit, real Transformers, and I want to see a live action G.I. Joe that is not that shit we've gotten so far. Like, I want to see G.I. Joe that I grew up with from the 80s, those characters from the cartoons. Can we have that movie with those looks? And then, you know what I'm saying? Let's do that instead of trying to make this weird futuristic version of shit.
Oh, wait, you don't want Magic Mike? G.I. Joe?
No. Listen, we have this saying on this channel that we have a saying on this channel. I challenge anybody in Hollywood to go head to head with me and trade brain pans on this. But Hollywood's not that smart. I'm gonna keep it a buck. They're just not that smart, and I say it here all the time because it's true. I mean, look at some of the crap that we get as fans. Like, you want us to pay money to see something that this is your vision. Stop. I don't want to see that. I want you to take what already is there and give it to me on the big screen in live action.
Yeah, show me my vision.
Right. Just give me that. Like, I mean, you can write whatever story you want. We don't care about that. It's the look. Hugh Jackman can't be in a costume as Wolverine. Why? Nobody has an answer. There was no reason for it. They just did it. Iron Fist never dressed up.
I know the answer.
Iron Fist. And why? Because the director said straight up and down, I'm not putting him in the costume. It'll never happen. And it didn't for 2 seasons? So same thing. G.I. Joe. All right, you got some big name actors there, and then it's just all mixed up and we like, huh? Like when? Like what is going on? Like, so it's
Oh my
just
god.
give us if you want to mix something together, mix together Transformers and G.I. Joe because the comics have done it. The source
comics
material is
have
there.
done it. Yeah.
Now in the Transformers movies, what were they running around with? What was that secret? What was that the organization they were running around with? That government organization? That could have just been G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
That could have just been G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? A special.
You got to start writing up a script here, man.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
it was the same thing. Right, it's the same thing. Instead of giving me that little special force that they was running around, I forget what they were called. Just say, look, that's G.I. Joe, Special Mission Force. Yeah, they're gonna be running with the Transformers. Man, we would have went wild over that. But
speaking of going wild over some Star Wars shit, though. Ooh, that shit's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Look how beautiful that is. And let me tell you, the beautiful shit about it is Star Wars Jedi 2 is going to be new. Part 2 is going to be new gen only. So it's going to be PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X,
it has to be.
And of course PC.
It has to be Reno. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell all you guys here why, because Stu is also a big gamer. PlayStation 4, every game we've gotten that's been big from right now has been a port. When I bought Horizon Zero Dawn, I didn't buy the PlayStation 5 version. I bought the PlayStation 4 version. Why?
Right.
It was cheaper, and 2, it's just a port. They've been porting games, and this will be the first game that they didn't port specifically.
Well, no, there's other games. Yeah, there's other games that are only next gen, but like when they do a game for like Switch, well they'll make the game with the capabilities to be played on like a Nintendo Switch or a PS4 or an Xbox One, and there's like a different version. Like what I'm saying, like
Reno,
when you
that
see
takes away. If you port a game, Reno, that takes away from the functionality of it because. All right, if you wanted to work on both systems,
I'm not talking about them porting games.
PlayStation 4 is only so limited. But for them to just make this a standalone PS5 only game says a lot because every game Sony's come out with since PlayStation 5.
No, it's not PS5 only. It's PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC.
Yeah, that's right. That's all next gen.
It's all new gen. Yeah, next gen is.
So okay,
what I'm
we
saying
got
is that
Zero Dawn.
Not okay, but what I'm talking about is, let's say, what's the game? Kratos, God of War, right? There's a PS5 version. There's a PS4 version.
Oh, that's a port. They just ported it to PS5.
But what I'm saying is that they had to make the base game before they gave you the updated graphic version and basically they updated the graphics. So the graphics is going to be way better because they're not making them. They're not making it for PS4. They're not making it for Xbox One.
No, because the hardware upgrades when you port a game. This is what happens. The hardware can upgrade the graphics and it can run at a faster speed and you can get a higher frame rate. But the game engine itself is stuck in Unreal Engine 4. So it's limited to whatever. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You can only do with so much. You can't do anything more with it graphically on PS5, but make it run better and smoother. So now with this game being on PS5, there were a lot of problems with the first Star Wars game with Jedi Fallen Order on PS4 functionality wise, because the game it ran good, but it didn't run as good. Like they promised us 60 what was it, 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second in performance for Pro, but we never got it. And then they come out with PlayStation 5, and now you get it. So it's a port in the sense that, I mean, it's good that it's not being ported because Sony needs to stop porting stuff. I mean, I bought a new system. I had a PS5, and you're gonna give me a game that's a port from one system to another. Unreal Engine 5 is out, and it's, for lack of a better word, the shit. I mean, I can't say anything. I can't say anything else better about it. Someone just did a Superman game with Unreal Engine 5. And if you can pull up some images, if you can, Reno, of Unreal Engine 5, everybody knows Unreal Engine 5 is the bomb.com. So to get this game on Unreal Engine 5, not Unreal Engine 4, ported over to PS5, is a huge thing. That's a huge thing for us because now I get what I paid for. Now I can see my $70 going towards a game that I want to pay for. That's not a port. I'm not paying $70 for a port.
No,
I buy the PS4 version, stick it in my PS5, and keep it moving.
Right.
And it does say it might not function properly, but it.
And
but
that's
it, I mean,
and
they'll
the
come out with the
sequel to
patch
Jedi.
multiverse.
Yeah,
They'll come out with the patch multiverse, and it'll be fine.
The guy said Star Wars Jedi 2 is new gen only, where it's PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and of course PC. One of the reasons that they're going to be able to do that is because it's not coming out until 2023, and this game is for sure now not coming out until 2023. James Grubb said he noted that there was a slim chance that Fallen Order sequel could launch this year, but that's no longer appears to be the case. He went on to say that a new gen only 2023 release for the game has some upsides, with Respawn and EA not having to worry about trying to straddle these generation lines. He said it makes it easier to just disassociate yourself with those millions of PS4s and Xbox Ones out in the world when you're in 2023, and you're going to have several months of making it very easy to get a series, Xbox Series X or whatever, probably a few months between now and then when it's actually okay to get a PS5, Grubb said. He then claimed that EA is dropping the Fallen Order name for the sequel and that we can expect the game to be shown at Star Wars Celebration. A sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was previously announced by EA back in January, but the publisher also confirmed that another two Star Wars games are in development, an all-new first-person shooter, which I don't give a shit about, and a new strategy game, which I don't give a shit about. But they have a open world game that we've been waiting for decades. But I think it's a good idea not to release. I'm glad. I'm happy for it. I love it.
It's a great idea. I don't want to. As a gamer, a hardcore gamer, I don't want to buy another port. I don't want to buy anything else ported from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5.
That's why I fuck with only with PC
when you
games.
Can just use Unreal Engine 5 and give me a game running on next gen hardware, next gen software with next gen graphics. I mean, look at Horizon Zero Dawn. How much better would that game have been in Unreal Engine 5? Unreal Engine 4 for that. And they ported it from P4 to P5. Look at Elden Ring. Love that game. But it would have been much better using Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, second
over.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Because what they'll probably do is just say Monkey King is being delayed. Nah, it's called it is the subtitle is Monkey King, but I forget.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called, but the subtitle is Monkey King. But that's another game that's being held back because once Unreal Engine 5 came out, they went back to development, and now they're doing it in Unreal Engine 5. So Unreal Engine 5 is where it's at right now. I mean, I just saw Spider-Man. Somebody just made a Spider-Man in Unreal Engine 5 game, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I was blown away. They did a Superman game with the same engine.
It's called Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, Wukong. Yeah,
it looks incredible. Yeah, Black Myth Wukong. Yeah, that shit is an upcoming action role-playing game by a Chinese indie developer, Game Science, based on the classical 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West. Yeah, that's next gen. That shit is next gen. That shit is one of the most amazing looking games that I've ever seen.
That's because of the new Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine. Man, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to take your hat off to. I watched the development reveal about it, and they were saying how like you can actually like there's a lot of stuff in the old engine that they would do that they said took a lot of time. Whereas in this one, they can actually use photorealistic graphics. For years we've been asking, when are we gonna get photorealistic graphics? When is the stuff on the box gonna look like the stuff in the game?
Yeah, when's the cutscene gonna look like the game?
Right, when the cutscene gonna look like the game? Well, with Unreal
We've been
Engine
waiting
5,
since I was 9 years old.
It's old, right? So with Unreal Engine 5, that's what it looks like. I mean, if you go on YouTube, somebody put up Spider-Man with Unreal Engine 5. It looks phenomenal, and that's not even a finished game. It's just something somebody mocked up and put up there without time to polish it up and all that. The Superman game, same thing. They didn't even polish it up, and it looks better than half the stuff they put out right now. That's what a different software makes. So that's my whole point to this new Star Wars game being on PlayStation 5 exclusively. Now I can use Unreal Engine 5 because PlayStation 4 can't run Unreal Engine 5. It just can't do it. And neither can the old Xbox and none of those. A PC can. Right.
That's why people are always happy when PC can. That's why I fuck with PC because I can always upgrade.
You gotta have a high end. Yeah. You gotta have a monster to run it. You gotta have a monster to run it.
You gotta have a fat graphics card and all of that. But look at this shit.
You gotta have a 3080, at least a 3080. Yeah.
Yeah, 3020 will do it, but yeah.
3020 would do it, but you need 3080 to get the maximum performance. 3020 will get you in the door. But
they're not even making shit for 3080 yet. Nothing can even. They don't even have nothing for it yet. 3080 is just for the future.
Well, they got 3090 out now, so I mean,
they gonna keep making them.
Which means I can finally snatch me up a 3080 now that 3090 are coming out because you couldn't get a 3080 now to save your life.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm running a 1660 only because I can't get a 3080.
I'm running a 2070, but. And the 2070 is hot. It's dope. But the
2070 will get you about P4, P3, P4.
Oh, I'm beyond P5.
But it'll get you there.
I'm way beyond PlayStation 5, bro. My shit is way beyond PlayStation 5. Oh yeah.
I'm running a 1660. I mean, I can play some stuff. But
1660.
I want a 3080. I got a 1660 Ti, but I want a 3080. I saved some money on the build, but when it comes time to get my 3080, I'm definitely plugging that in.
Yo, can somebody tell me why Chris Pratt is getting canceled or whatever the fuck?
Oh yeah, what's going on with that? I don't know about him being a part of it.
Miss Sada, would you please explain to us why he's getting canceled?
So, okay, I think from like the little bit I've seen, he's a part of like a homophobic church, I think, or something to deal with like him being homophobic. So people are like, replace him. And I don't even think there's proof that he's a part of said church because James Gunn came to bat for him.
They've been attacking him off and on for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
Because he's white, he's a Christian. I think there was a benefit thing. I think it was for Biden or something that he opted to not go to. So they were like, "Oh, he fucking loves Trump." Da 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 da. And just like, oh, just because like there were other actors going and he didn't want to go, all of a sudden they started attacking him.
Shit. Well, Marvel Studios has switched actors before. I mean, we had
Don Cheadle,
the original Hulk. Don Cheadle. I was gonna say Terrence Howard, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Hulk wasn't their fault because he actually Eric Bana turned the role down. Remember, he could have played
Eric Bana. I'm not talking about Eric Bana.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. Yeah.
I think it was a fight over money. I think it was right, something like that.
Well, Norton just didn't want to. He didn't want to be typecast. He didn't want to. He's a different kind of actor. He didn't want to be in like the Marvel movie. He didn't want to. He didn't want to be known to be the Hulk.
I mean, he ain't playing in nothing. I haven't seen him in nothing else.
Me neither. That was a major. Hey, you know how many actors have made this mistake? Like so many actors have made this mistake. They could have been.
I wonder if he's kicking himself in the ass at all for backing out.
He's got to be.
Maybe a part of him.
Even Eric Bana said he kicked himself. Eric Bana said he kicked himself in the tush because he said he listened to his manager and he shouldn't have, and he should have played in that second Hulk movie And he said that's why they never gave him the offer for the MCU, because they thought he just didn't want to do it. He said at the time he didn't because of the first Hulk movie. Yeah. And he said he should have just went on ahead and did it. He says biggest mistake in his career.
They can't simply recast Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, but a social media petition has been launched and is growing regarding, the matter. But although there was no proper reason given, a group of fans continue to advocate that Pratt be replaced with Patrick Wilson, given their similar physical features. Although other argues that it can't be anyone else, just as long as the Park and Recreation alum no longer plays Peter Quill.
I mean, there's really no proof of this, like him being a part of this church. He's on like the last movie as Star-Lord.
If he is part of that church, so what? This is private life.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sick of this, the cancel culture. Actors and roles, they're different people. There's plenty of actors, actresses that I don't agree with them with a dozen different things.
Right.
But if they're doing a character justice, especially in these kind of movies, who gives a shit? If he's not out doing things to children or beating the hell out of women, stuff like that. If just because let's say if that whole
political beliefs,
and say if he didn't like people with different sexual orientation, shit like that, as long as he's not out like bashing people, if just because that's his belief, he may not like it. Not saying that that's the case, but hypothetically, if he's not actually physically harming people, but he's still doing a good job in this role. Yeah. Why try to cancel him if he's not out there actually doing bad?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not anything like horrendous, like you said, like if he's not like a outspoken racist story or a pedophile or something where it actually matters, like he goes to a church. I think Obama was like going to that one church. I don't know. You have these churches. Listen, most Christian churches, here's a big wake-up call for people. They're homophobic. They don't like gays. That's a Christian thing. There are gay-friendly churches, but that's a thing. That's a new thing. Basic churches.
Reno, we don't want to get canceled. So hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute, Reno. I don't want to get canceled.
I mean,
Reno, let me say it. Reno,
I'm not saying nothing bad about anybody.
Well, listen, you're saying it good, but I can say it better.
Of course,
you can always say it good, but I'm going to say it
better. Here he
goes
again. He can say it better.
Well, see, what it is in the Bible. I'll give you a perfect example. Everybody's ever watched Duck Dynasty. Everybody's ever watched Duck Dynasty. Remember Phil Robinson went on record. He went to an interview and they kind of set him up and asked him what he feel about, gay, the gay culture and all that. And he said he didn't support it. He doesn't support it. That's not his thing. He doesn't have anything to do with it. And then they tried to cancel him off of the show of Duck Dynasty. But the family stuck together and said, look, if Phil can't be on the show, Phil's going to be on the show. Because they actually removed Phil from the show for his comments. Now, Phil did say, I'm a Christian man. And being a Christian, the Bible says that being, man on man is not allowed. Woman on woman is not allowed. And that's what I embrace. I embrace whatever the Bible says. So
that's what he said. Gotta be careful now. You don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, that's what he said. You don't want to get canceled. That's what he said. So when you look in the Bible, that's what the Bible says. Now, Reno's right. There are churches that accept people that are homosexual, and that's fine. Christian. Yeah, gay friendly, and that's cool. But you can't get mad at the world for, like, I'm not mad at the world for everything that happened with slavery and African Americans and all that. I don't cancel everybody. Like, there's places in this country that me and Cooks and Sada just can't go. We want to go, but we just can't go. I mean, can we freely walk in there? Yeah, but we're not welcome. Or we won't get a welcome like we want, you know what I mean? Because we're human beings. So but are we trying to cancel everybody for it? Do you have all, it's just what it is. It's the way of the world. Until the world grows up and becomes less ignorant, then that's where we go. But that's a lifestyle choice. If you choose to embrace a gay lifestyle, that's your choice. Then do it. Like,
but don't expect everyone else.
Right. Don't expect everybody else.
Everyone else to just not be bigoted or not be, ignorant because most people
some people ignorant
and
some
bigoted.
people.
Just out of curiosity, like where are those? Like, what can you name an example of a place you're talking about where you think like you always in SATA can't go? It kind of goes along with like a conversation that Reno and I were having with Multi the other night. Like, it was late live show and we just kind of started going off on different topics. I'm just curious.
All right, like okay, for instance, certain neighborhoods, like if me, Sada, and Cooks had the money to move in any neighborhood in the world, right? There's certain neighborhoods we'll move into, and the people that live in that neighborhood wouldn't want us there, because we're African American, like straight up and down.
Still to this day.
To this day, they'll
sundown towns.
Right.
Can't do
sundown towns.
There's sundown towns.
You know what that is, Master?
I feel like I've heard that term before, but let's pretend I know nothing about that.
All right. You ever watch what was that? What's that one show they had?
Lovecraft?
The one
Lovecraft?
Yeah, Lovecraft. Where did you watch Lovecraft?
They have one.
When they were Lovecraft Country, when they were in the car and the sheriff stopped them and he said, "Look, it's all right for you to be here now, but you better get out of town before sundown."
Okay. Sundown. All right. Yeah. Okay.
So there's certain places in the South. You ever watch the Green Book?
Green Book, like we in Alabama.
Cooks in Alabama. They're famous for that. They're famous for sundown towns. Yeah, they're famous for sundown towns. When you watch the Green Book, that was another where there was only certain places that if you were African American that you could stay, and there was literally a book called the Green Book that told you where you could stay when you got to certain states and towns that you could stay.
That's the movie with what's his face, who's now going to be playing Blade, right? Where he's like driving the white dude around.
Mahershala
Ali. Yeah.
Him and Viggo Mortensen. Yeah. So, I mean, there are places in here in the world that just don't accept us because we're African American. I mean, there are people like, matter of fact, Masha, I'll give you a better example. Have a discussion with somebody about Obama, right? I mean, you're Caucasian, you're white. Just be around a bunch of white guys and say, "Hey, man, what you guys think of Obama?" You know what they're gonna say? He's all right, but we really didn't really care for him. He didn't do great as a president. He wasn't that. But Donald Trump.
Clearly, you never talked to my father then.
Because Donald Trump.
Yeah, because it's not white. We're not all this country,
but he gets a pass.
Yeah,
Donald Trump. Right. Donald Trump gets a pass because he's white. Obama was the best president we had seen in 20 years. In the last 20 years, he's the best president we saw in 20 years. But he doesn't get a pass because he's African American. Now, they'll tell you, "Oh, he was all right," but they don't want to say, "I didn't like him because he was black." They'll never say that because it's inappropriate right now. 50 years ago, yeah. Now, no. But that's why people don't like Obama. That's why a lot of people didn't vote for Obama because he was a bad president or his politics was bad. His politics were rock solid. But
look at the dignity
black.
that let me ask you that office. Like he brought dignity to that position. Like he was a dignified man. Like and then Trump. Look at Trump.
He was the president, right? He was president the way you're supposed to be president, right?
Well, let me ask you: if somebody if somebody was to say, "Well, I didn't like Obama because," and they brought up like certain policies or like factual things where the way they looked at it, like, would you take that for what it is, or would you be like, "Oh, he's just trying to hide because he doesn't want to say he didn't like Obama because he's black"? Like if they brought like I
think I would take that for what it is.
I would say you disagree with Obama's policies because he's black. Look at it, Masha. Listen. Okay,
well, there you go.
It was in our face. Masha,
Sada says no. She's not going to see it. It was in. Who is?
She's a little too young to understand politics right now. So we're gonna let her. I'll explain it to her. I'm gonna talk to her dad. Her dad explained the whole thing to her. So, Masha, here's a perfect example. Masha, check it out. Okay, look at Congress. Look at Congress, right? When Obama was in Congress, when Obama was president, 90% of Congress was Republican, right? Now we all know that the Republican side really needs an update. They are a bunch of old white men and a sprinkle of white women who all have the same ideas and views secretly that they don't want to come out publicly and say. You know what I'm saying? Like they might say certain things, like you just said, like you're asking them, say, "Well, I don't agree with that." But when Obama was in there, what did Boehner say? oh, he's a one and done president, or we got to get him out of there. He didn't say that because he didn't like Obama's politics. He said that because he was black. And then when it took the Pope to come to America,
some people feel that way. Yeah,
it took the Pope to come to America and say, "Yo, my man, stop it. You need to step down because you ain't doing nothing but embarrassing yourself and your party." And what did he do? He stepped down. Obama never showed him nothing but respect and dignity every time they met. Obama never said anything bad about the man, and he knew the man hated him for what he was, and not because of his politics. Obama knew that. So now you fast forward to Donald Trump, and now Donald Trump got in there, said what he wanted, did what he wanted, however he wanted. Had Obama did any of that, they would have packed his stuff and put it on the front of the White House lawn and be like,
"Oh, that's right." I think it just depends on how it's said. Like, I think the delivery, if someone were to tell me they don't like him because of his policies, I have to listen to how they say it and their body language and stuff, and then I can really tell if they're full of shit or not. But you know, I think
look at like the stuff Trump like grab him in the pussy, like stuff Trump was doing and find. If imagine Obama did that,
Obama would have never made president. Let me tell you something. Obama would have never made president. Listen, matter of fact, you know what makes it even worse was the one because when dude recorded that, when the Kennedy recorded that was Donald Trump actually saying that. Had you recorded Obama before he got elected saying something like that, bruh, it would have been an uproar in this country. It'd have been a civil war. And listen, they would.
Hold on. Imagine Obama stood out. Imagine Obama standing out front of the Capitol building, telling people to raid that shit, and he got their back, like he did.
It would have never happened. Yep, like Trump did. Had Obama did an insurrection, bruh,
they would have shot him on the spot.
They would have had the military coming in. They might have had the public hanging for the first time in 200 years.
But I think the point is that it's always, but it's always.
I mean, it's true,
people, but it's always gonna be people on every side. But the point being that gays and homosexuals having to sort of maybe accept some of the things like what Stu is saying that black people have accepted and have to accept and deal with and work around and don't lose their shit over. That's the kind of the point that I think you're making, Stu.
Like, imagine here's another thing too. You got to give food for thought when people talk like that. I'm African American and I vote, but I voted for every white president that I could vote for since I've been voting. Now, whether I like their politics or not, I never, ever, ever would have just said, well, I don't think he should be. I'm not voting because he white or because there ain't no black man up there. I ain't never said that. I went and voted just like every other American, and I voted. I judged them on their politics, the content of their character, not the color of their skin, not the dog whistles they blew, and no president has ever had the black community, had the African American community best interest in mind. Period. Point blank. Like right now, the Republicans are trying to ban African Americans from voting in different ways, just so that we don't come out and vote.
Well, and Obama was elected twice. So obviously,
overwhelmingly,
a lot of white people voted for him. Obviously, a lot of white people voted for him too.
Right. No, I'm not saying that they don't, but you got to look at it like this.
I think we have voted for the amount of black people that voted for Obama and that probably have voted for the first time ever offset all the racist white people that wouldn't vote because wouldn't vote for him because he's black, and he still was able to win because of the black vote.
So Stu,
he won overwhelmingly because of he won overwhelmingly because of that vote. But like I said, I voted for Clinton. I voted for Bush. You know what I'm saying? I voted for Hillary Clinton, even though I didn't like Hillary Clinton's politics and I didn't like Trump's politics, but I had to choose a lesser of the two evils. And the lesser of the two evils was Hillary Clinton. That's what I had to vote for. That's what I had. Yeah. That's what I got.
Lesser of two evils.
Right. That's my point. If I can sit there as an American, an African American, and say, all right, I got to vote, and I can take the racial disparities out of it and just go straight for the politics, because right now, Master, people don't have food on their tables, right? Right now, gas prices are high. Right now, inflation is through the roof. Right now, I can't get a 3080 for my computer. And you know what that all stems on? Politics. That all stems on
and
politics.
You can't blame the sitting president who just started. You got to blame the president who made it this way. These are the results of the previous.
Right.
That's what I always hate. Like as soon as Trump became president and good shit was happening, they're like, "See, look." I'm like, "Nah, B, that's results of Obama's presidency." When Obama became president, Bush left him with a shit pile. So people blamed Obama instead of thinking about the fact that was from Bush. He fixed that shit. And now we're getting the results for it when Trump's president. So they want to praise Trump, but it ain't Trump. So now shit's fucked up. I'm seeing stickers on the gas pump saying I did that, and it's got a picture of Biden next to the gas pump.
Those are kind of funny, not gonna lie.
They're kind of hilarious. Trump did that. I took one and I put it on another one because it was so funny, and I posted it on Instagram. I thought it was hilarious, but to be realistic, you can't.
Well, don't forget the president. The president alone doesn't control all that. There's hundreds of different factors from everything else.
Yeah.
Right now, think about it, Masher. Right. Let's look at what happened. Right in the last 4 years before Biden got in. Okay, think about it and think about it hard. When Trump was in, what did Trump always Putin? He had the most scandalous presidency in history. Obama had no scandals in his presidency. Right. Then he has a meeting with Putin, kicks out the interpreter and his security, and had a meeting alone with Putin. Who knows what they said to each other? Now look at the Ukraine situation, right? What happened with was it General Mad Dog? And then Trump was like, "Well, if you get me, you get me dirt on the Obamas, I'll get you the weapons you need." The Ukrainians never got the weapons they needed, right? Had they did, this Russian war would have probably never happened the way it happens now. Russia would have thought twice about going in there because they knew this was coming. The president of the Ukraine knew this was coming. That's why he was asking for aid when Trump was in office, and Trump messed that up. The scandal went through. They never got the weapons. They never got the stuff they needed. And now Putin was able to just walk in there. Okay. Trump did that. Somebody needs to make a sticker.
Biden would have stepped up and went to the front line sooner, do you think that could have stopped it?
No, because politically his hands were tied. Because now, what Putin said, see how slick the whole thing was. Putin went and said,
helped Trump get elected.
Right? Thank you. And remember when Obama got elected, what was the first thing Trump said? Is he a legitimate president? He's illegitimate. He don't even have a birth certificate. He's an illegitimate president.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what did we say the whole time? There was a lot of questionable things. From both sides we're looking at, from both
candidates.
Right. There was a lot of stuff.
Wait a minute. There was, but let's look at it like this. There was, but first of all, don't you think that if Obama ran for president, somebody had to check his credentials? They check everybody.
Of course.
He African American. They definitely
he's already a politician.
Yeah, they definitely checking his stuff. His stuff getting checked at the door. Masha, if you was running for president, they'd be like, Masha, we'll check you on the inside. Cooks, you wait right here. We got to check you at the door.
Well,
that's
actually,
how it goes.
What's funny though is that I own multiple firearms. Every other one I get put on a wait and a watch list because I wasn't born in America. I was born in Okinawa, Japan.
What, like a military base?
Yeah, Kadena Air Force Base. So I mean, technically, it was American soil,
right?
But because I was born in Japan. Right. I go through so much shit with a lot of things I try to go through and do. So,
wow.
I mean, obviously that's not the same. I'm not comparing.
Masha, if you walked into the store to buy the gun, and they didn't know you was born in Japan, they would just give it to you. Cooks walk in there, they're gonna be like, "All right, Cooks, we need to see all your ID and a blood sample before you can get a gun." It's just how it is.
That's funny to think about, but from up in this way, I've never and I know we're looking through everything 2 different sets of eyes. Where I go and purchase and everything, they don't give a shit what color your skin is. They only care about if you got the money to buy it and you pass the background check and all that. That's what they care about up this way. And I was talking with Reno about it the other night and everything. That convo, it's to your point where you guys feel that there's certain areas you can't go to, the sundown cities, things like that. But I've been in situations where, you know, I've gone to other cities that are different from where I grew up, or, you know, like Boston and certain areas around Boston where it's predominantly, you know, African American.
Have you ever been to Roxbury? You ever been to Roxbury?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well so
I walk
you
around.
go to Roxbury. When you go to Roxbury, what happens?
I haven't had any issues when I've been to Roxbury. Lawrence, Massachusetts. I was just telling them the story the other night. Group of us were taking a motorcycle ride back from Rhode Island, coming back up New Hampshire. We stopped off in Lawrence. We're sitting there eating food. I go outside to, you know, smoke a butt and take a phone call, and I get a couple of, you know, pretty decent sized, you know, black guys coming up. They're looking at the bikes. They're about to rob me because I'm a little white boy. Until one of my buddies had to come out. We call him Biggie. He's just big, massive Jamaican dude. He comes out and, you know, comes to check on us, and all of a sudden they had no problem. They were like, all right, never mind.
So you got a pass. You got.
But Masha, that happens. Masha, that happens to us. Like, listen, Yusuf Hawkins, right? Walked through Bensonhurst on his way home. He was taking a shortcut on his way home, and got killed for it, just because he was just trying to get home a little faster than he normally would. So it happens on both sides of the gate. But you know, you got to understand something. They killed Yusuf Hawkins because he walked through that neighborhood in New York, just trying to get home, coming home from work, wasn't bothering nobody, didn't say anything to anybody, didn't do anything to anybody, just walked through there, got killed in Bensonhurst. Bunch of white guys jumped him and beat him till he died. I mean,
it happens.
Either way, it's not right. I don't care if you black, white, Puerto Rican, I don't care, Mexican, whatever. Listen, it's not right for anybody on this planet. When I was in the Marines, they used to tell us one thing: if a spaceship landed right now and they were going to invade Earth, they're not going to just pick out who they want to kill. They're going to say, we'll just kill all the blacks and the Mexicans. We'll leave everybody else. No, they look at us as being one people, so they're going to kill the human race. And that's just what we are. We are the human race.
The human race. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so Multi was in the conversation. It was me. I think it was me, you, and Multi Master that was talking. Multiverse Comics Parade. But I sent you the link, Multi. Why don't you pop in here? Black people get killed and no one gets
and it is wrong. And it is wrong. I mean, we've seen it happen so many times. Police shootings, this, that, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing, man. Like with Floyd. I mean, you sat there and saw the dude. Why would you have court and have such a long deliberation? Like when Trayvon Martin got killed, you gotta understand. That's so
weird.
That's the message.
Same thing with Rodney King.
Listen, yeah, when Trayvon Martin got killed,
you know what I'm saying?
This is the crazy part. That sent the message to the world that it's okay to kill black people. That's what it said. And because George Zimmerman was not a cop. He was a vigilante. On the phone call, you hear the lady tell him, leave the boy alone. We're sending a unit out there. Back off. Leave him alone. What'd he say? No, I got it. I'm doing this. He was a vigilante, a straight up vigilante.
So let me ask this: with some of the cop shootings and everything, do you think I'm not pulling out any particular story, just as a generality of it. So like if an officer goes on scene, he's got a guy, happens to be black, could be white, whatever, pointing a gun at him, you know, and the officer fears for his life, does he not have a right to defend himself?
Now he should shoot that dude. Listen, if anyone's pointing a gun at a cop, you get shot. But the point is, if the guy has no gun,
no. I'm saying because there are situations.
Mash, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this much. I'm gonna tell you like this, and this makes sense because this will answer that question. And this is not being biased. This is answering the question. My father always said, if they made one gun, they made two. And if you pull your gun out, you better shoot it. You better use it. So if you want to point a gun at another man with a gun, you better be ready to shoot him or get shot. That's all I can tell anybody.
Exactly.
Now, if you don't have a gun, but a man with a gun point his gun out and shoot you, that's wrong. You see what I'm saying? On any level.
In any situation.
So that's how I feel. So yeah, I don't care if you're a cop or not. Somebody pull a gun on you and you got a gun, you better do what you got to do if you want to live. That's just how it is.
But there's no excuse. There's no situation where anyone can justify to me shooting someone that's unarmed. I don't care what they're doing. There's literally no excuse, but there's always an excuse given. There's fucking acquittals. It's insane. And but I do want to say to my man GC 2001, we need to do some more research. I thought this was a comic speculation though. This is Sixth Element of hip hop, and it is a hip hop and comics.
Yeah, we kind of got off on a little
discussion.
Yeah, we kind of got off a little bit.
We go off on tangents.
Yeah,
we go
sometimes.
But we hip hop, we comics, and we talk about a lot of current events.
It started It started with Chris Pratt. It started with the Chris Pratt thing. And we
try not to get too political.
Although I do want to point out.
We'll go back.
Yeah, I want to point out, like what I said to Reno Multi the other night when we were having this conversation. You know, I'm in this case, I'm kind of a minority here. But you know, it's like, you know, we can have conversations where like maybe our ideas, our thoughts, anything like that, they don't line up 100%. You see things differently than I do. I see it differently, you know, from, you know, how we were raised, the neighborhood kind of thing. But what important thing is what a lot of people need to look at here is the fact that you and I, we can have these conversations and it doesn't turn into an argument. You know, it doesn't turn into a bitch fest, arguing or hate.
Right. Yeah. No,
have the discussion. The conversation is the important part.
Yep. Yeah. Because you know what? No, even if at the end of the day, you and I don't, you know, convince each other to flip to our side kind of thing. Right. I still got a shit ton of respect for you and for everybody else in the show. And, you know,
I was getting ready to say the same thing. Listen,
you know,
listen, I love everybody. Yeah. I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? And there's no hate in my heart. So like, you know, I can have the discussion and step off. I don't have the answers that people are looking for when it comes to these topics. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answers. The only thing I can tell you is judge people on the content of the character
100%.
and not the color of their skin. Yep. That's all I got.
Multi.
What's up?
What's up, everyone? Good evening, human beings.
Hello, man.
Good evening, my fellow human being.
What's going on?
I'm drinking coffee this time too. I'm drinking coffee.
All right. Good, Mash. Yo.
Oh, Multiverse. Why we got you here, man? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
One question, man. Kraven the Hunter versus Spider-Man. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, like to the death?
Yeah. Like in a movie, what's your
Kraven been asking for it. Kraven has been just bullying the whole Spider-Man clan forever. You know what I mean? So Kraven needs to be dealt with, Stu, once and for all. And
I believe I
would love a movie to put Kraven down.
So Kraven got to die. He got to be Doc Ock. He got to die.
Because I like growing up. Y'all remember that issue? I do not know the issue. I bet you Reno know it. But Spider-Man was thinking about stuff, whatever. He web swinging. And Kraven tracking him on a roof, and he snatched his big ass pole and he tossed it right at his dome. And you know he trying to kill him every chance he get, man.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
You can't, you know, same thing, Batman, Joker stuff. Listen, Joker would have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah,
well, Joker would have been dead. Speaking of Joker,
what you talking about?
Sada, Cheetah would have been dead a long time ago if I was Wonder Woman.
Okay, come on.
The pelt would have been on my floor.
That was ridiculous. I was like, what is this? Like, why are you playing with her?
Hardcore, Sada. Yeah. He hardcore, Sada. He said Cheetah got to go, huh?
For real. It's like, you know, they can always make new villains.
Well, you know why, like Joker, none of Cheetah, none of the villains ever actually died, right?
Why?
They got to keep coming back for that, you know, that monthly money. They have to keep them coming back. That's why, you know, Arkham has a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cooks.
True.
We gotta say peace to Cooks, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Peace, Cooks.
Bye, Cooks.
Somebody was saying something. What'd you say?
No, I said Arkham is so full of shit. Should have been shut down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Arkham. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
Arkham. Oh my god.
they bugging. Yeah, Batman. But that's it's like Master said, we can't kill the best villains we've ever seen. It. I mean, Batman's rogues are some of the best villains that have ever been created, man. It would suck to see them die, any of them, man.
Batman or Spider-Man? Who's got the best rogue gallery? I'm going with Spider-Man.
I mean, but here's my thing, right? I think Batman's gallery is just they're dumb.
I like Batman's just because I like the dark vibe and I like the gangster stuff. Like I love Two-Face and ventriloquist and Joker, gangster Joker. Like I love that 40s gangster vibe. Yeah, and Bane. I mean,
I think there should be more crossovers, Reno.
Who would win in a fight? Spider-Man villains would win in a fight because they've got to fight a guy like Spider-Man, so they got to have more superpower. But a Batman villain, is fighting Batman, who's a detective with gadgets. But you got dope guys like Mr. Freeze and
although
Riddler.
I think Mr. Freeze would give most of Spider-Man's rogue gallery a run for their money.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze and Bane and guys like that could mess with Spidey, but Killer Croc, like, he's got guys. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul.
Imagine Bane and Killer Croc dropping in all jacked up. Only one gonna survive is Rhino. That's it. That's it.
Rhino's the only one gonna make it out of
there.
Yeah, that's true.
Joker actually died in Batman #1.
He's right. Joker did actually die in Batman 1.
Batman used to kill people.
Yes, he did, and he carried a gun.
He carried a gun, shot fools. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the best versions of Batman was in Flashpoint, where it was actually Thomas Wayne became Batman, and he just was dark, heavy, didn't give a shit.
My favorite.
We all love Flashpoint here.
That's my favorite.
We like Flashpoint. Yeah, we waiting for the Flashpoint movie.
Oh,
hopefully we get a good. Hopefully we get a good show.
On some real shit, I just got goosebumps when y'all talk about Flashpoint. I get goosebumps about the movie, bro.
No,
we're never seeing the film.
What?
I don't think we're ever gonna see it. No, we never.
Hey, Sada, that's your homework this weekend, okay?
No. I've seen the animated film. I'm talking about the live action. We're not gonna see that film.
Okay.
A lot of people.
Beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of people think that movie ain't gonna ever see the light of day, but I still have faith, man, because that's why, man. I'm a big Thomas Wayne fan.
But that movie solidified why Batman and Flash are my favorite DC characters. Everybody else, I really don't care about.
Wow.
I could get behind that as far as DC superheroes.
You don't care about the question?
Questions.
Maybe a little bit of
Owlman.
That makes me think about a Common song.
Curry a little bit, but
what about Owlman?
What about Catman?
Him too.
How about Osmodian?
I like
Ozymandias.
I like Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
Okay.
I would like to find that pit. You know what I mean?
I would too.
Take a dip, right, Stu?
Yeah,
take
make sure. Take a real good dip, man. Make sure you smack the hell out of me when I come out of there too. Give it to me. Give it. Throw your arm out the socket when you do it. You know what I mean?
Oh no!
As soon as I come out, boy, give it to me, boy.
All right, so when do you guys plan on going to see Multiverse of Madness?
I'm gonna watch Multiverse right at home
Thursday, like a month.
I'm scared.
Right at home.
I mean, I'm still COVID. I'm still kind of COVID shocked.
It ain't even that. I got such a package.
Wait
bro,
till that shit come out.
It's gonna be able to play through, so I ain't even worried about it.
Yeah, no, I'm going Thursday.
I don't know Multiverse.
Ooh, I hope you enjoy it.
I still can't get Morbius.
Oh
shit, I'm watching. I got Morbius in my favorite. Morbius is in my favorite.
Morbius is horrible. Morbius is so
still haven't seen it yet.
Let's not dampen the mood.
Really, Morbius is that bad?
No Morbius.
Morbius is that bad? Like,
yeah, let's not even talk about Morbius because it would just dampen. It's bad for morale.
Yeah,
Morbius is boring as fuck, dude. It was just like just poorly written. But again, we're not going to go there. But Yeah, man. They actually already put out the first 20 minutes of Multiverse of Madness. So a lot of people that are in the YouTube community that do reviews and things like that, you know, the guys with million subs and shit like that, they've been given the first 20 minutes. But then there's something that goes on that started tonight at 8:00. At 8:00 tonight, they did a some sort of red carpet live red carpet thing.
It premiered, you know.
The premiere, right, the red carpet premiere. So that shit is available.
It's
before
out.
Thursday.
I'm watching it tomorrow. Watch.
Yeah.
no damn spoilers. All right, no spoilers. I'm going.
The bootleg will be. Yeah, the bootleg will be out.
The bootleg will be out.
There's a movie theater near me that's doing like a special 21 plus like early premiere kind of thing for it. So I went as soon as I saw that, I went right on Fandango and got my tickets.
Out here in Cali, they running the first one, then they gonna run the second one at midnight.
Nice. I love when they do that.
Well, you in Cali, Multiverse. Come on, man. You got. Come on, man. You
get the hookup out there.
You we don't even want to hear. Yeah, you got you in Cali, bro. Like,
it's not fair.
Yeah, it ain't.
He's like, I just went next door to Cumberbatch's house and watched it with them.
Hey, look,
right,
stay tuned. Stay tuned. I might be moving to North Carolina.
Oh wow.
Stay tuned.
Hey, at least we could drive and see you then.
Y'all need to come up to the New England area.
Oh, I used to for my Celtic game.
I do want to come there for pizza because that's some of the best pizza in that area.
Last Celtic championship, I was up there for the parade. That was what, 09?
I think so, yeah.
What, for the Pats?
Oh.
Who's that? Oh, that's Feige.
Feige.
Everybody better be quiet.
So is he talking about Doctor Strange?
Yes, the premiere. They're at the premiere.
Red carpet.
I did.
Reno, that's why I have the perfect name right now. Multiverse. Come on, bro. It's like, I'm hitting in searches. The people can't help but find me right now.
That's true. That's true.
Advanced thinking.
Exactly.
So we get to talk to our Sorcerer of Supreme here for the MCU, right?
Let's take it to Justin now. What's
Great.
going on?
I love the MCU.
Dude, every time we do this show, I get so hyped for Star Wars and comics. Like when we do this show, I go reading comics and watching animated shit after the show.
Me too.
I get jacked up.
I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I've been binging The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I'm on the Return of the King. I'm on the last movie.
Because the new show is coming.
Don't watch the show. Don't do it, man.
Hey, Sally, you like that stuff?
Do yourself a favor, Multiverse.
Nah, I can't get into Lord of the Rings.
Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Read the books,
dude.
There's so much. There's so much in the books. There's so much in the movies that the books don't talk about.
I bet you haven't read, Stu, the beginning. You know the beginning is the Silmarillion before the Hobbit.
Yes. Silmarillion, yeah.
Yes, the Silmarillion, yes.
That's the beginning.
I do have it, but I haven't read it.
It's a beautiful,
and beautiful
book.
Recently. Yeah, I bought it recently, but I haven't read it.
Yeah,
but I did read the Hobbit. I did read all the Lord of the Rings.
Look at me. Look at me. The Silmarillion is beautiful. It's like it lays everything out, Stu.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out. I'm going to read it. I have the book. I'm going to have to read it. No, he is. And he says, even in his works, he says that people look at those books as being like an adventure, but he said they're actually a tragedy.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Straight tragedy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, tragedy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tragedy for sure. Yeah. The ending is really sad if you think about it. And it's it's horrible.
It is.
Yeah, it was horrible. But yeah, I can't wait for the new show, just because I'm a fan of the IP. You know what I mean? It's not. Right, I don't think it's gonna be the best things in pockets on pants. But as Stu would say, but I'm a fan of the IP. Just like the Game of Thrones, the prequel to Game of Thrones is coming out. I'm gonna be all over that shit.
Let's go.
I'm a super Game of Thrones fan.
Never
but
seen
I
it.
do not think for a second that this show is going to be as good or better than Game of
Thrones. Reno, he's never seen Game of Thrones.
Me too.
Wow. That's it. I'm done. Now I'm canceled.
Oh goodness. Look, he went black on Stu shut the lights out on y'all. Stu shut the lights out on y'all. You don't shut the lights out on y'all, man. Come on, man. Done. We should have a freaking watch party and make y'all watch.
I'm down for that.
Oh no!
It's one of those shows that like I've always wanted to put on my list to watch. I get crap from everybody. They're like, "How the hell can you be a nerd if you've never seen it?" I'm like, I don't know.
I'm telling you, man. If you even like that kind of stuff, fantasy, medieval,
zombies, dragons, fire.
All of that,
swords.
Nobody ever told me there were zombies in it, though.
What?
Nobody told me that. All right.
First episode. Let's get it.
It's about zombies. Shit, that's the main.
Hey, Reno, tell them the zombie episode. You seen the first episode? It's like ridiculous.
I was hooked. I was hooked. Let me tell you how this show hooked me. I watched that first episode. That the prequel, it's the pre-fucking credit episode, prequel of the episode. It's like a little pre-thing. I was hooked in, but damn, I don't want, because to tell you how that show really hooked me, I would have to give away the end of season 1, and y'all know what I'm talking about. That shit blew my fucking mind. I was like, okay, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I was just done. And the next thing, we'll call it the wedding scene.
The red wedding?
Shh. Don't ruin it. That shit. That shit changed my life.
One of the most brutal episodes I've ever seen of a TV show.
Brutality. Oh, the wedding? The wedding?
The red wedding.
Don't spoil it for Master, man, because I'm telling you that shit.
I won't do that.
And and time and time again, like that's a show that, it wasn't afraid to do things that other shows would never do, or other movies or other anything would never do. There's certain shit you don't do, and they did it, and they do it, and that's why I was like, man, this is real. This is some real shit that I'm really gonna get behind, and I watched it every year. I rewatched the entire series, every episode.
Hey, Reno, you just
sort of like how I rewatch Star Trek.
Just like how I rewatch
Game of Thrones every year.
I rewatch Lost every year also.
Lost I've never seen.
What's Lost?
I'm one of the people that have never seen Lost.
Wait a minute, you never seen?
I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Wait, never seen what?
Lost.
No, I said, what is Lost?
Oh yeah, I've never seen that.
Oh. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Stu's like, yo, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Kick him out now.
No, but
that's what happens when I faint. See, that's what Cook said. I faint when I go. Anyway, Lost was one of the best TV shows that I have ever seen in the last however many years. Also, Battlestar Galactica was another really
the
remake of Battlestar Galactica. The remake was
all right.
Like all
I'm gonna put another one out there.
Chips
I'm gonna put another one out there. Fringe.
Dog.
Fringe.
I was locked up when I seen it, and for the first time, man. When I got out, bro, that's all I could talk about. I was like, that shit is amazing, dog.
Brilliant series,
dog. The scientist, the old guy, bro. He was fucking. He was. What's another one? One that just recently came that's still actually running. Is my favorite. One of my favorite new sci-fi shows. It's about. It's called The Expanse. If you ain't seen The Expanse,
yo, I gotta watch it. We don't always talk about The Expanse too. And sometimes I'm looking for something, and it's not. I'm always looking for something to watch when I run out of stuff. But the next time I'm looking for something,
you'll love Expanse the most.
Reno put me up on the horror movie.
Battlestar Galactica and all of that.
Reno, you put me up on the horror movie. The with the beasts in the forest in the old colonial times. What was that?
The Committed. What was it?
Something with a C. Yes.
Yeah, it was something with a C. Fuck.
The Covenant.
What was it? The Covenant?
I don't know. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah. Oh, did you? That was a good movie. Yeah,
was it?
That was a good movie.
I gotta check it
out.
It
was good. I just can't remember the name.
Hey Stu, I'll message it to you, Stu.
Good, thank you. I need that, man. I'm gonna check that out. I won't spin that up on the NVIDIA Shield.
Because y'all, I watch movies all day. I do reviews and shit. I send it into the podcast I work for, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I'm watching movies all day.
Yeah.
I got Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, paused at 1 hour and 47 minutes. It's a 4 hour and 23-minute movie. So we got 3 hours to go.
The extended. You watching the extended version.
That's the only way to watch it.
Yeah, you watching
the only way I watch it.
Only way. Only way.
I mean, you know what? Did you watch The Hobbit and Desolation of Smog and all that?
I watched everything is extended. So I'm on the last of the extendeds from The Hobbit to The Return of the King. I watched them all.
Okay.
Extended.
Now, you know what? I like the Desolation of Smog. I like the Desolation of Smog.
That's how I get down. I got the National Geographic.
That's what I'm talking
about. New Zealand version.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is the fucking ultimate companion to the blockbuster movie. National Geographic embarks on an extraordinary journey through myth, legend, language, history, to explore how the imaginary world of Middle Earth reflects on our own. So they go through and man, I'm telling you, they show the locations and all of that. Man, this shit is
deep, that archaeologists right there. That's all New Zealand, bro. It makes you want to go to New Zealand so bad.
They talk about who was J.R. Tolkien and how did he create the amazing world of Middle Earth. They talk about how does the struggle between good and evil in this epic story parallel challenges in our own world, because he based all this shit on his experiences in World War I.
Yeah,
he was in the war.
Yes, he did.
And why are the places, heroes, and villains of Middle Earth eerily familiar? Because they're based on shit from our world. And who are the real life Frodo? They get deep because all that shit is based on our world, man.
You want to hear something crazy, Reno? Sada and Stu and Masha. To this day, you know what people write in the subways in New York?
What?
Frodo lives.
Oh yeah.
It's like a running thing in New York. You're gonna see it sometimes. Frodo lives. It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, they're doing they got it's called Rings of Power. Yeah, the Ring of Power, and it's gonna be all about Sauron when he was creating the rings and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now Multiverse, when you watch it, you know that when he gave those rings out, that the dwarves had rings. The dwarves had rings, but they never became like the Nazgul because the rings didn't affect them like that. It only enhanced their abilities. So like when you watch The Hobbit and they were throwing the dishes around and all that, they can naturally they're naturally that dexterous. But when they had a ring, they were even more dexterous and even more potently dexterous than you would think they would be. Now there is somebody that had one of the elven rings in those movies. Can you tell me who it was?
That had the elven ring?
He had one of the elven rings. I think it's called Nephilim. I can't say the name. No, it wasn't Frodo. Because remember there were 7 elven tribes, right? And each one of the elves were given a ring. It didn't affect them like the ones of the Nazgul, like the men. The men were the Nazgul. But remember, the elves and dwarves were not affected by the rings like the men were. So
man was most affected, yes.
Right, he was, and that they became the Nazgul.
All the wraiths is men.
Yeah, those are all the white dudes.
Now, check it. Somebody in the Lord of the Rings saga from the first movie all the way to the last movie that you're watching right now had one of the elven rings. Can you tell me who it is? If you were paying attention, you'd be able to know who it was.
I mean, what was that?
What was the question?
It wasn't Legolas. Somebody in the Lord of the Rings movies had one of the Elven rings.
Elrond.
No, Elrond had one.
Yeah, he did.
No, Elrond had one. No, Elrond didn't have one. Elrond
Yeah, Elrond had
it. All the rings was consumed. There was no more rings, bro. It was only one.
Was it? No, there was another ring. The dwarves, some of the dwarves still had their rings. The queen of the elves, she had her ring. She had her ring. The queen of the elves had her ring. The queen of the elves had her ring, and I'm gonna tell you why. That's the reason why the elves were kept so young and they were able to live as long, because she had her ring.
No,
now there was somebody who had a ring. Listen,
the elves
there was somebody who had a ring. There was somebody who had an elven ring throughout the whole movie. And
hey, Stu, don't make me go watch this shit over again.
If you read the books and you watch, if you read the books and you really watch the movie, you'll figure out who it is. I mean,
hey, Stu, stop playing with me.
If you want to spoil, I'll tell you. Okay,
and
Gandalf. Gandalf had one of the elven rings.
That was my next.
He doesn't have the ring. It's not a ring. It's not the.
No. Not the ring of power.
Not the ring.
Not the ring of power. He didn't have the ring of power. He had one of the 7 elven.
You know the one ring is
gonna help you. I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna help you. If you read the Silmarillion, you'll understand that Gandalf is not even a human being. Okay, Gandalf, you know the Balrog, right?
Yeah,
Balrog.
Gandalf and the Balrog are the same.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They're from the same. They're from the same. They're from the same type of being that was from the the angels.
Read the Silmarillion, Stu.
It goes deeper than Lord of the Rings.
Well, listen,
they are the same.
This much.
They're the same entity, just different forms.
Gandalf, listen, I'm gonna tell you why. When you watch the movie, Gandalf says it. He says, "I am the protector of what? The flame of what?
The flame of Odo."
There's
and all that whole verse. Now check it. That whole verse that he says lets you know right then and there that he has the ring. Now the ring that Gandalf had is activated by fire. So once it gets around fire, Gandalf gets stronger. And he can actually take on a Balrog. He wouldn't have been able to fight the Balrog had he not had the ring. Now, here's another thing. Wait a minute. Here's another thing the ring did. Wait a minute. Multiverse, you didn't pay attention. Here's another thing that ring did. That ring was a great influencer. That ring had the power to influence you to do things. Remember when he went and talked to Thorin, right? And he was trying to talk to Thorin about going into the mountain. Remember, Thorin was like, "Nah, we can't go in there. We can't. Smile, this, that. We can't go in there." But then remember when Gandalf lit his pipe and the flame lit on his pipe, it gave the ring its power, and then he was able to influence him. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it.
The long
go back and watch it. It wasn't smoking watch. It wasn't. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it.
All the rings of power were claimed. All the rings of power were claimed.
Yes, they were. And Gandalf had one of them. And when you go back and watch it, when he starts smoking the pipe, when he starts smoking the pipe and he starts talking
through me,
Thorin,
even if it's a lesser ring, through me, I would want to do great things. But because it's me,
no. You're talking about
that's the ring.
No. Multiverse.
That's the ring of power.
That's the ring of power. Not the ring of power.
Any one of the rings.
Listen.
Guess what? Rings were made for
20 rings
people.
in total.
There was no rings designated for wizards.
No, there wasn't. There was 9 rings for the Lords of Men. That became the 9 Nazgul. There was 7 rings for the dwarves. Yes. There was 3 rings for the elves. The 20th ring is the ring of power. There is no other ring.
Right.
There is no other ring.
Okay, so Sauron's ring did he take?
He didn't take it. It was given to him. Listen,
whose ring was given to him?
I don't know. Okay, let me break it down. Do you know why Saruman? Okay, can I finish? Do you know why Saruman hated Gandalf? You know why Saruman betrayed them? Because of Gandalf. You know why Saruman did everything he did? Remember when the trees was like, yo, Saruman used to walk through the woods and talk to us all the time? He was smooth. He was cool with us. When Gandalf got the ring, when he got the elven ring, I forget. It begins with an N. I forget. I gotta go back in the book, but I can't say it. When he got that ring, that's what pushed Saruman over the edge to serve the Dark One, because he was so jealous and he felt that like, yo, like why does this dude get everything? Because Gandalf was more humbler than all the rest of them. He was Gandalf the Grey. Like he was just plain and he chilled with the hobbits and all of that.
Making up shit, bro.
But his
ratio wasn't even on the level of his ratio wasn't even on the level of Saruman. All right, listen. In the movie, okay, go back. Well, listen.
Until he died, if any
of y'all think I'm wrong, go back and watch the movie. Right? Watch The Hobbit. Watch when he's talking to Theoden, and they're in the bar or the pub or wherever they're at, and he's smoking the pipe. Before he started smoking the pipe, and the embers from the pipe activated the ring, he couldn't influence Theoden. He couldn't Thorn. He couldn't influence him. But once he started smoking the pipe, he started influencing him. And then watch the movie. He's gonna be like, Thorn was like, because when he first asked him to go into the mountain, what did Thorn said? He said no. And then Gandalf was like, well, look, I think maybe if we had the right team and we did, because you gotta remember, Thorn was very stubborn. Nobody could persuade him to do anything he didn't want to do. Remember when he got the Arkenstone, and remember when he got back in the mountain, he was like, I ain't giving them jokers nothing. They ain't getting nothing. And remember, matter of fact, remember in the second movie when they went to the Horseman's kingdom, what did that one dude tell him? Don't let Gandalf in here. Don't let him speak. Because he knew Saruman told him if he speaks, he can influence the king. Gandalf had a ring of power. Remember Wormtongue said, don't let him speak. Whatever you do, don't let him speak. They took his staff, but Gandalf didn't need his staff.
They didn't take his staff.
Nah,
he said, I told you to take my
staff. With the walking stick, right. But listen, remember when he was walking and he was talking to him? Gandalf had the power of influence. Remember, if you look at all the movies and you go back and really watch, Gandalf influenced a lot of them to do stuff that they didn't want to do.
It was actually deception because he was still portraying as Gandalf the Grey. Saruman, who was controlling Theoden, had no idea that was Gandalf the White until he took it off and said, "Look, I ain't playing with you no more. I'm already back as the White now. We about to take this off you, Theoden." Saruman had no idea.
All right, well
Saruman had no idea that he was Gandalf.
He had no idea, but he knew one. But he knew one thing about Gandalf. He knew one thing about Gandalf. He knew that Gandalf had the power of influence because of the ring that he had. He knew that. That's why he said, "Don't let him speak." Because Gandalf, once he starts talking,
don't let him speak.
Think about all the people he influenced
with his mouth.
No, because he had the ring. No,
because he's a wizard.
I don't think the ring has anything to do with
that. No, the ring had a lot to do with it.
They didn't show him having no ring in the movie.
No ring. It was no indication of a ring at all.
Gandalf had one of the rings of power.
Okay, but you're saying that, Stu. But to be clear, that's never said in the movie.
No, it's not. It's not said in the books either. And it's not said in the books either.
It's not said.
What you got, Mash?
Listen, you're not. Listen. It's not said, but it's implied. So if y'all know so much and y'all so much of Lord of the Rings fans, why is the second movie called? Let me ask you a question. Why is the second?
Right now,
explain to me. Listen, explain to me why the second movie was called. Why the second movie was called The Desolation of Smaug?
18 straight hours just now.
All right. Well, Multiverse. Explain to me why the second movie is called. Why is the second movie called The Desolation of Smaug?
The second Hobbit movie?
You got the Hobbit, and then you got the Desolation of Smaug. Why is the second movie called the Desolation of Smaug? There's a reason why, and it's very important to the story.
And why is that, Stu? Because obviously we don't know, so you have to enlighten us.
I'm asking y'all, man.
You have to enlighten us because we're going by the story. Tell us what you're going by. It's called the Desolation of
Smaug. It's called the Desolation of Smaug because the area that they were in, that Smaug decimated, right? When he came in there, when Smaug came in and he took over the mountain, one of the other things that he did was he kept flying out of the mountain and he just charred the whole area with his flame. That whole area is called the Desolation of Smaug. The whole area, just that area alone.
Decimation is DEC.
Okay,
it's different.
Right, listen.
To destroy the whole town, that's decimating a town.
Listen,
Now,
right? He decimated the area, the whole area that town was in, and the mountain. Smaug decimated. But then you got to remember, Smaug also went to sleep. He also went back in the mountain for years and never came out. And when he was in there, that whole area, when he did it initially, that whole area was called Desolation of Smaug. That's what it was called. Remember when he was talking to Frodo, and Frodo was like, I mean, not Frodo, when he was talking to Bilbo, and Bilbo was like, Bilbo was like, listen, I'm a barrel rider. I tell riddles. I do this. That conversation is the most important conversation in the whole book and even in the movie, because Smaug explains a lot that nobody really knew, but he just broke it down. That is the most, that you can't even have the movie without them two having that conversation.
No, you can't.
In the book, it's one of the longest parts of the book. It's one of the longest parts of the book, them two having that conversation.
So, I'm going to ask you a question, then we're going to let Master go for bonus points. Who played the voice of the dragon?
Cooks.
Doctor Strange. Let's go, Master.
No, Benjamin Cumberbatch. Yeah. But we like the answer. We like the first answer, Cooks, because Cook sounds like it. But go ahead.
I just want to point out that, like, all the conversations, all the topics we talked about, this has gotten the most heated out of everything we talked about tonight. This has gotten the loudest and the most heated. I want to ask, are you as lost as I am right now with this?
Because we don't have to be worried about offending nobody. We can really go in. We talking about Lord of the Rings.
No, we just going in. We talking about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And you know another reason why I do this, guy? Because Stu don't be talking. We gotta get Stu more active. You know what I mean? I'll be watching these videos and Stu be quiet, man. You know what I mean? So
because it's not about the quantity.
Look at I like the lion. Look at the lion came out over there at that left corner in New Jersey. You know what I mean?
You know what? Go back and watch the movie. I love you too, man. But do me a favor. Go back and watch the first Hobbit movie.
I gotta watch 18 hours again.
I know, but just go. No, just watch the one scene. Watch the scene with Gandalf, right, and Thorin in the pub, and then come back and tell me if I'm wrong.
You talking about when the two guys was watching them, and it was like one was watching them on one side, one was watching, and then Gandalf sat down and they was talking, and they was gonna jump Theoden, Oakenshield, but then when Gandalf sat down, they bounced out, and they was going through the whole story.
Right,
Gandalf
we're in the pub. Right, we're in the pub.
Yeah,
right. We're in their pub. Mm-hmm. Go back and watch that scene and watch when Gandalf first started talking to him about going to the mountain. He was like, "Nah, we can't do that. I don't even have the embers and spirit, lotta." Then Gandalf started smoking his pipe. The embers from the pipe gave the ring power to influence. And watch how he keeps blowing the smoke in his face and he keeps talking to him. And then watch he gets confused and then he's like, "Well, maybe you're right.
Hey, Reno, it's the weed that he blowing in his face.
Might even be."
He's smoking that long bottom leaf.
You smoking that la? Nah,
that long bottom. No, it's that long.
If you look at this, look at
it's called the long bottom leaf.
Yes,
not the la. It's called the long bottom leaf. That's the long bottom leaf. That's what they call it in the book.
The finest weed in the Shire. Pippin said it.
Nah, you ain't seen about no weed. He said the long bottom leaf. But what happened was, let me tell you why. The reason that Lord of the Rings had a huge resurgence in the 70s and why the 60s, why they made the cartoon and why hippies across the country were deep is because of the long bottom leaf, because some hippie read the book and deciphered all the long bottom leaf shit into being weed. And it made a lot of sense. And it became a counterculture icon. That's why Lord of the Rings had a resurgence, because that shit's been out since the 40s, bro.
Yeah. Reno, I have
somebody got high and read the book.
I have closed caption on, and they say the word weed. It's long bottom leaf. They say it's the finest weed. That's what they say.
Okay. Okay.
So we know what they smoking. We know.
Yeah. Well, but that's not in the book. In the book, it's long bottom leaf, and they do call it long bottom leaf in Lord of the Rings, but not in what you talking about is the Hobbit, right?
Yeah. No. This is Return of the King. This is what I'm watching now. They all rolled up. Gandalf and them rolled up. Theoden, Aragorn, all of them, and Merry and Pippin is chilling.
He was like eating the salted pork
because Saruman's food house was on the outside.
Yeah.
So Merry and Pippin chilling in there,
yeah,
smoking, drinking.
And he was like, "We got that salted pork," and Gimli was
for
like,
real.
Pork?
Yeah, and Gimli was like, "Yeah."
Gimli like, "Oh fuck that! They got weed, salted pork. You know what I mean?
Pork, not the pork."
For real.
But yeah, man. But yeah,
they
they
the pork I made like grilled last night. No,
oh, I seen it. I seen you grilling, man. That shit look crazy. It look good.
Yeah,
I don't eat pork, but
yeah,
I don't eat pork
either,
or
but
beef. No,
Me
I don't eat pork,
either.
beef. Y'all don't eat pork.
Damn,
I don't eat pork or beef. Yeah, y'all don't eat pork. No, I don't eat pork or beef. Nah, I barely eat chicken.
I did a report on that
chicken
shit,
nowadays.
man, in college, and
Yeah,
ever
barely
since
eat chicken nowadays, bro.
I'm saying
I learned
y'all
a lot
some
of
ribs.
Oh no.
Ribs. If I eat ribs, it's gonna be beef ribs.
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't even eaten that. I really stopped eating
ribs. Maybe they beef, maybe they not.
Nah,
yeah, sometimes you never know.
You can always tell.
The first time I ever ate venison, I got tricked into it. They told me it was steak. I ate it. They're like, "Oh, how do you like it?" I'm like, "Oh, it tastes really good." He's like, "Haha, it's fucking venison." I was like, "You bastard."
That's how I got. That's how I ate.
That's how they got me
No,
too. They got me like that with deer too.
I ate buffalo like that. They told
Buffalo
me it was
I
beef.
eat on a regular. I like buffalo.
And it's goddamn amazing.
Yeah, I eat buffalo on a
Buffalo
regular.
is endangered. I would never eat
I like
that.
buffalo.
Nah, it's not. It's not endangered.
It's not enough
bison?
for them,
Nah,
Reno.
bison ain't endangered.
No, they have
Bison?
they have
They got
farms.
bison
Yeah,
farms.
you
There's
can
plenty
buy
of bison.
bison meat.
There's plenty of bison, bro.
They got bison.
It's
farms and shit
expensive,
now.
but you can buy it.
I would
Not
never do
wild
that.
buffalo. Nah.
But when
So
I was in
on
Kentucky last
Indian.
year,
I was on an Indian reservation. At the Sundance. It's a ceremony that really is illegal. The feds have actually outlawed the Sundance because it's the Native Americans believe that they cut themselves with a little razor and they pierce it with a deer antler and they tie it to a long rope to the top of a tree and they stretch back until it pops off, or they put it in their chest and it pops off, and when they break that shit, that's when they break. It's basically they fast. They basically just suffer for the.
I'm with Sada's face right now. That's where I'm with. That's where I'm at. I'm with Sada's face.
It's painful. It's painful, but that's the whole point of it. Is that they believe that they're suffering for the people in the world that are starving and or people that are suffering. They feel like they're taking that suffering, trying to take the suffering off of other people is the idea of the ceremony. But I went there. I was living on the Indian reservation for it was like 4 months. Just me and my mother and a friend of ours that we went up there with when I was like 15. And that was a whole life-changing experience in itself. But they eat buffalo. And it's legal, and they got the rights and all of that to do that shit. They can also like it's legal for Native Americans to have eagle feathers and hawk feathers. Where if you or I were caught with a real eagle feather, like in our house, you would go to jail.
Yeah, I would too. So don't be trying to say I get that privilege because I don't get that either.
It's just a religious thing for them, man.
It's because it's their religion. Indians, that's why.
My great grandmother was pure Indian. This is the thing with Indians. They have a great respect for the land and the animals, and they feel like everything is one.
It's a balance.
So So if they kill an animal,
and all my relations,
they kill an animal and they eat it. They eat the whole animal. They use every part of the animal. Whereas when the settlers came over and they killed a buffalo or a bison, they would just take the whole bunch of shit on leave the rest. Yeah. Now, if it came to eagles, they would never kill an eagle because to them it's a sacred animal. So, and their spirits, they guide them in the afterlife. That's just how they feel. That's their belief.
So if they have an eagle feather,
it would have to be one that fell off
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, they
would have to be one that fell off the eagle. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, they would never.
They didn't go kill the eagle and take his feathers. Yeah, they didn't. They just didn't do that. Yeah,
never that. But the leader, the medicine man, he gave me a bag of eagle and hawk feathers. I traded it to him for a bunch of tobacco. Like they take and they'll take the tobacco and take little pieces of cloth they call prayer ties, and they put a little piece of tobacco in there. They bundle the little piece of cloth and tie it, and they say like a prayer, and like they put that up on the Sundance tree, and they're like sending that prayer up. And when they smoke the peace pipe that we call the peace pipe, they call it the tanuki. But it's not weed, it's tobacco. And they smoke the peace pipe, they puff it 4 times to the 4 corners of the earth, and the smoke that goes up while they're having a meeting with the elders, or they're praying, or they're having a ceremony, whatever it is, they're passing it around with people that they just met, and the smoke is to send that up to the heavens, up to the creator and all of that. That's the whole point of
and as the Indians found out about more of the vegetation, then the weed started taking properties into that, then the peyote and this and that. There's different
depending
ways
on the region where they live. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, technically, federal government has no standing over like actual
the reservations,
reservations.
land,
yeah, thank
law.
you.
Yeah. No, when I was out there, they have their own police, because the feds, they can't, like, there was literally feds you could see way off, like in the mountain, you could see feds with binoculars
all day
watching the ceremony from a distance. Like the Sundance ceremony is it's illegal and they're not supposed to do it, and but they had the ghost dance, which was a ceremony that they believed that these shirts that they wore in the prayer, they believed that as long as they were dancing, they were invulnerable, they were invincible.
But see,
and they really believed it to the point that the
government got no business. The government got no business even interfering with that.
No, they don't. But this is what they did. They went to this ceremony and they told the Indians, that the Native Americans, that they only call each other Indians, but anybody else supposed to call them that, supposed to call them Native Americans. But they call each other Indian. They say I'm an Indian. That's how they talk. That's just, I don't know why it is, but they call each other Indian, but anyone else is supposed to say Native American. But they the government told them if they did this ceremony, they would shoot them and kill them, like on the spot. We'll shoot you dead. This was back in the day, and they believed that they would be invincible if they wore these ghost shirts, and they while they were dancing in the ceremony, that they would be invincible. And the government smoked down, like, I don't know, something like 100 and something people, women and children, for doing a religious ceremony
off of it.
This is on the reservation. This is I don't. This might even have been before there were reservations. This might have been, or
so this is going way
this is going back to maybe Civil War era. I don't know. It's but or probably American Indian War era. But yeah,
listen, we could thumb through the government track record like a fucking long box of comic books, and you can pull out any fucking date, and it's the fucking shitty situation that the government done did.
And when you tell, and as soon and you say, well, the government can't do that.
Let me see. 1990. I guess what? We could pull something out from 1990.
Yeah, they did it.
76.
Like, that's against the law, or they don't have the right to do that. They did it. Everything that you can say that the government ain't got the right to do, they've done it. They don't give a fuck. Laws are for us, not them.
And, I didn't get on before, when you guys are talking about all that shit, but Republicans suck, bro. Like, you have no idea. Like, it's like, why create
the party, like the government?
Yes, the party sucks. I said it in the text in the chat. 95% of Republicans, they're trash human beings, and that 5%, that fucking 500,000 people, 1 million plus Republicans actually understand, other human beings. Other than that, it's a money grab.
Yeah,
it's a money grab.
The Democratic Party has been lately, like of recent, many recent decades.
Why does the Republicans block everything that the
no, listen to what I say. This is what I'm gonna say. The Democrats are like the black party, and the Republicans are like the white party. But back in the day, it was the opposite.
We talking
Democrats,
about now,
Well,
no, but I'm saying,
didn't the Democratic Party start the KKK?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Democratic Party was actually against black people. And then over time,
how far back is y'all talking?
They've become the black party because they did things like welfare, and they did things, you know what I'm saying? Like they do things in that vein. But if you
I don't
look
even
at it
consider it the black party. I consider it the sensible party.
But see,
I think both sides have ups and downs.
Both sides have
a lot more downs
merits.
for Republicans. Republicans
they both have merits.
Trash.
They both have merits. The problem is that there is a two-party bird. Like it's the reason that they gave us this two parties is so that first of all, they keep us divided. You got this side, this side. As long as we're divided and we're not united as a people, they can always control us. Mm-hmm. And the more division 100%. The more division that they put out there, and that polarizing shit, like with the MAGA hats and anything polarizing they use to, keep everyone divided. And that the Republicans and Democrats, bro, when you see a Republican president, Democrat president, they're two wings of the same bird. Behind the scenes, those presidents are friends. Those politicians, they kick the boat. They kick it. They're buddies.
Mm-hmm.
They act like enemies in front of us.
You think Biden hanging with Trump?
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Not that they're hanging out all the time, but when they're backstage, the debates and all of that, they're shaking hands.
They're not at each other's throat like they are on stage.
They're buddy behind the scenes.
No,
they're not best friends or anything like that. They probably don't hang out. But I'm saying they don't have the type of beef that a Republican and a Democrat citizen will have.
So that makes it even worse that we're going to portray this whole bullshit show for the American people to damage their fucking livelihood.
Well, like Reno said, like the more they keep people divided, the more control they have.
Mm-hmm. But see, what happens is you get these Republicans, you get these Democrats, right? And it just the effect that they're giving off trickles down to the human beings. Mm-hmm. So then you get, Democrats saying, oh, we want to help this and that, and then you get the Republicans just vicious and denying everything that, not even want to hear it. And if they could all just kind of just listen to each other, it would be fine. But Republicans don't listen to shit.
Mm-hmm. Like if they could actually have conversation, leave name calling out of it, leave pointing fingers at each other over this, that, and the other bullshit. If they just had a conversation, a lot of shit would get settled a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, it say a lot for the people in the back, but that's the thing. Mm-hmm. I don't want to promote or perpetuate that division,
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
The polarizing. Like I can't. It's saying all Democrats are this or all Republicans are that. It's just like saying all white people are this or all black people are that. I mean, it's just a stupid
No, not all white people are bad. No, that's false.
No, I'm not saying
that. It's tandem to that.
Yeah, it's like saying all of anybody is anything.
It's easy to clear up. You know what I mean?
No, all of anything is anything. No, all of anybody is anything.
He's back. Yeah, no, because I mean,
it's like with the cops. Just like with the cops, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest. From what I think and what I've seen in America life, it's probably like 80-20. Good is bad, 80. Good 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
And the 20 can't do shit with the 80. So it's like 100.
And like I had mentioned before, like being an EMT, I deal with cops a lot.
The 20, I'm sorry, Matt. The 20 fear for their lives from the 80 in the police forces all across the country. So they can't do shit. Like really, really, really do something like the Law and Order episodes and shit. No, it's not gonna happen like that. It's not. Yeah. They can't go against the 80.
What were you saying, Matthew?
I say, as an EMT, like I deal with cops a lot. And even with my other job too, we do a lot of police stations and all that. And pretty much almost. I mean, I've dealt with my fair share of douche cops growing up, and I had quite a past. But like pretty much every cop I interact with nowadays, that I deal with are, I would say, maybe 90-10, compared to your ratio. A lot of them, they don't give a shit who you are. If you respect them, they're cool with you. If you're a dick or you act like you got something to hide, doesn't matter what color you are, that's when they kind of go down different paths, and granted, it only takes one bad apple to ruin it for everybody else. You get one cop that shoots an unarmed man, black or white, doesn't matter. All of a sudden now everybody's hating on all cops. So it's just like with all white people this, all black people that, or all Republicans of this, all Democrats of that.
Hey, I hate to burst your bubble, but a lot of like white cops, if it's a black person involved in incident, bro, like it's like you have no idea. You have no idea, like the whole trepidation that goes into their head. It's a
fear, and it's fear.
Honestly, a lot of the white cops I know,
they go through all the decisions, this and that, and they say, you know what? Fuck this guy.
Well, I gotta say, a lot of the white cops I know, when they deal, if they pull over a car being driven by a black guy, they walk on eggshells, because nowadays it's if you say something just wrong, all of a sudden you got a case against you for, he only pulled me over because I'm black. Well, no, it's because you're doing 80 and a 20 kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, decent cops, yeah, Master. Decent cops do that because they don't want to get in trouble. But there are asshole cops that don't. And
100%. I 100%
racist.
Agree.
Yeah, I mean, but it boils down to fear. They have been raised or grew up in society that told them that black men are dangerous, black men are criminals, black men will hurt you. So they have a subconscious fear. They might guarantee. I'm not racist at all. They might not be racist in their frame of what racist means. They might not consciously go out and purposely think that, they don't like black people, but it's not.
Hey, Stu, where you at?
It's the prejudice. It's the subconscious that they've been raised in, that they have fear of black people.
I can't even imagine. I can't imagine what Stu has to go through. I can imagine what the fuck Stu has to go through. Now, I'm gonna let you finish. I can imagine what Stu has to go through on a daily basis with Trenton.
We don't have to imagine.
Trenton is the capital of the fucking state, bro. I can imagine what he goes through.
Master, listen. There was a kid. You can look this up. Stephon Clark, right? 22 years old. shot while he was standing in his grandmother's backyard. Somebody called the cops, said he had a gun. Police shot him over 20 times. 20 times. And you know what he had? A cell phone. That's all he had. Just a cell phone in his hands.
Off a phone call.
That's not fear because he was being threatening. It's fear because of what's implanted subconsciously from society.
Remember Philando Castile? Yeah. We saw that live.
Licensed firearm. We saw that live. Licensed firearm. Let's start with that.
They had guns. Check it. They had guns drawn on the man. And didn't need to. If you get pulled over by law, you have to tell police, and you licensed to carry for whatever rules your state has. You have to tell them, say, I have a licensed firearm, which he did. I have a licensed firearm. I'm licensed to carry. I have it in me. Okay. Cops supposed to say, okay, let me see it. Run the serial number, whatever the case may be. They had guns drawn on them. You're not supposed to draw guns on a man who's sitting there telling you he got a gun and not threatening you. He telling you, I'm a licensed firearm carrier. I'm licensed to carry. I got my gun on me. I'm driving with my family in the car. You know what I mean? I'm chilling with my 9 and my whiz right now and my daughter, and I'm chilling. And they shot him. Now, when you go back to that and you say the public has a misconception of police shootings. And even you, Master. So I'm going to tell you like this. It's like this. When a cop shoots somebody, it's a homicide. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. They have murdered somebody. It's a murder. It's a homicide. Now, they go to court to prove whether it's justified or not, because you have justifiable homicides and non-justifiable homicides. When you have these when they go to court, the jury is persuaded by the lawyers to have these people believe that the cop was there, doing his job and in the
aggressively relaxing
in the confines of his duty, he had to shoot an unarmed man because he's a cop, and that's what goes with the territory. But what you got to do is you got to hold him accountable for it, because when there was an African American cop in I think it was, matter of fact, it was in Minnesota. It was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He shot the lady. He shot a white lady. Went to jail. Did time.
They went nuclear.
When Orlando Castile got shot, right? They were trying to prove every way, that the cop wasn't wrong for shooting him. Why it was justified that the cop shot him.
Yeah.
So you have to understand.
I forget her name. They came in and shot her in her bed.
Oh, that was
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor. Don't forget about Tamir Rice. I mean, you gotta understand something.
They always come up with a justification.
For real.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. Don't forget Alton Sterling. Don't forget Alton Sterling.
What about your boy? They put like 80 bullets in the car in New York.
The black guy shot the white lady through the window by mistake.
Yeah,
all hell.
That's what he's talking about.
Don't forget Freddie Gray. Don't forget Freddie Gray.
Prosecuted him. Right.
Yeah.
They were on him from the door.
Now remember Freddie Gray. I remember Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray got beat up by the police. He got arrested, put inside the police van to be taken down to the precinct. He was found dead with a severed spinal cord.
So let me ask a question.
How you beat somebody that bad that you sever their spinal cord? And can justify that.
That takes a lot. Now
you an EMT. You tell me how you can justify that.
Oh, I can't, honestly, because of what it takes to sever a spinal cord, especially depending on where on the cord it is. There is a way where it could happen accidentally, but that's a 1 in a million kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that could actually happen.
Now, Masher, check it. 6 officers were charged.
There's a show on that. There's a show about that called We Own the City right now with John Barenthal on HBO Max. Check that out.
I'm gonna just point this out real quick. My man.
And then the other 3 cases were dropped against the other 3 officers.
Can you come a little bit closer? I can't see it.
Stu. He got arrested for disorderly conduct in Michigan, Stu. Right? And guess what happened? He went to jail overnight and found dead in his cell.
What'd you say?
Overnight in Michigan.
They killed him in the cell?
It doesn't make sense. My man was up there. He just found a job. He went out to drink at the bar. Whatever happened there, he found dead in the cell.
Yeah.
Did they find like a cause? Because it
doesn't. There was a woman too.
Misconduct. Police misconduct. Look it up. Bradford Smith, Michigan Police Department. Detroit, whatever it was. Just look up Bradford Smith. You'll see it.
I was in St. Pete.
I was Masher with Freddie Gray, right? 6 officers were charged in connection with his death. 3 were acquitted, right? Wow. And then the other 3 had their cases dropped. The city reached a $6.4 million settlement with the family. So basically, they told the people, if you just let these cops go and live regular lives and not go to jail for killing your son or daughter, your son or nephew or whatever, we'll give you $6.4 million. And we dropped the case against the other cops and acquitted the other 3. There's no justice in that, man. The justice scales are supposed to be balanced. Right. The justice scales are balanced. You know what I mean? That's why the justice holding the scales. That's supposed to be a balanced thing. Mm-hmm. And so you can't.
How Moon Knight, right? What's his name? He got the scales on his hand.
Right? The scales, yeah.
No justice. No justice for us.
He's Anubis.
Sada shit dropping to the bottom for us every time he.
Look at Eric Garner. Look at Eric Garner.
There we go.
Look at Eric Garner. Eric Garner got choked. Eric Garner got choked live on camera outside in front of a bodega. for selling cigarettes. Right now, the grand jury declined to indict the officer, placed him on desk duty after the incident. He was fired in 2019, and the city reached a settlement with Eric Garner's family. Do you know his daughter had a heart attack and died? I think 2 years later, or something like that.
Man.
Yeah,
that's why we need Moon Knight.
She was young. She's in her 20s or something.
Moon Knight will get rid of all of them.
He said,
all of them.
And that's true. But it's just when you go back and you just
Moon Knight on the Republicans. Yeah. There you go, bro. Go ahead,
when
bro.
You go back and you just
go, go, Kachu.
Well, come on, not all Republicans are bad though.
No, right. No, I'm not saying. Listen, we're not saying all police are bad and not like that. But what we're saying is that there is
right?
Like if you ever watch Richard Pryor and all them, they used to tell jokes about it back in the 70s, 60s, because it was true. But we joke about it, but it's true. I mean, you got to get rid of the bad apples and keep the good ones.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can't have a standard. If you can't have a standard, you can't have a one-sided standard.
I see you,
and that's the problem.
And I talk to you. I pray for you, Stu. I pray for you and I pray for your wife because you outnumbered. And I just want you to retire. I just want you to retire. Peaceful life, bro. I hope so.
I got a couple years for that. I can't wait. As soon as I do, me and Reno gonna drive across country together. As soon as I do, me and Reno gonna drive out there.
I will throw you
a drive out there.
Celebration retirement party, bro.
Me and Reno gonna drive out there the day I retire. I'm gonna say, Reno, let's go. We going out to Cali to see Multiverse.
It's soon. It's coming.
And then we gonna go to OG Lee's comic shop.
Now you guys have good perspectives because, like Master, you're an EMT. Stu, you're a prison guard. So you guys have a real inside sort of scoop. But in response to the nationwide Black Lives Matter movement after the death of George Floyd, Charlie Kirk, the founder and president of the conservative group Turning Point USA, posted a statement on Facebook. He claimed that in a video posted on Facebook during the Blackout Tuesday campaign that, according to the Washington Post database of police shootings, police killed only 8 unarmed black men in 2019. Other Facebook pages have reposted the video, adding to its viewership. And he uses this figure while arguing that systemic racism does not exist within law enforcement. He did not mention in the video that Black Americans make up 13% of the population, but are killed by police at more than twice the rate of white Americans. He did not also mention, as explained by Naomi Zach in her book on racial profiling and police homicide, that when 4.4 million random stop and frisks were conducted in New York City during the period from 2004 to 2012, even though blacks were disproportionately singled out, the incidence of further police action was less for blacks than for whites. Kirk claimed that police killed 8 unarmed black men in 2019 is incorrect for several reasons. He cites the Post database, which includes only people shot by police, not killed through other means like beating or tasering. He also cites a database that is incomplete. The number of black unarmed men fatally shot by police is likely higher than the Post count due to the lack of comprehensive police records, which Kirk does not acknowledge. Despite these issues, the Post database shows police fatally shot 13 unarmed black men in 2019, not 8. The data shows the Post's database documents fatal police shootings that have happened since January 1st, 2015. The Post said its team relies primarily on news accounts, social media postings, and police reports, in addition to its own reporting. This data does not include deaths of people in police custody, like Multi's friend, fatal shootings by off-duty officers, or non-shooting deaths. And the Post data shows police fatally shot 13 unarmed black men in 2019, 5 more people than Kirk claimed. Also, police fatally shot unarmed black women, Atiana Jefferson, 28 years old, on October 12th in Fort Worth, Texas. But the Post database covers only shootings of men. It does not include deaths caused by beating, tasering, or vehicles. George Floyd's died in police custody after a police officer knelt on his neck for several minutes, which could not have been included in that data because it wasn't a shooting. So I think what this kind of is saying is that middle America, white America, mainstream America they're given one bit of information. You think it's one way, but there's, you know what I'm saying, it's not really what they tell you. There's a lot of shit they don't tell you. There's a lot of shit they fumble with the statistics, and and they put this shit out in the news, and people just go, oh, well, that's what it is. And then when an African American is talking about this, they're just complaining or playing the race card, whatever it is, because that's not really true. The fact is that it is true. It's just that mainstream America is given, I don't want to say false information, but information that's altered, lacking. You know what I mean? Like it's not accurate, or it's finagled to look a certain way.
I mean, I think anybody who puts out different studies, statistics on every side, it kind of gets skewed a little bit more to their favor.
Right, like Fox News, CNN, they're gonna tell two complete different
Fox
fucking
News
stories.
is trash.
All mainstream media.
They're all trash. No, I agree. Fox News is fucking trash. But also, I think CNN is trash. I think MCNB is trash. I think all of them shits are trash because they're media, and they're like fed by the powers that be.
Is Republican gas hose fed to you trash?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they all are.
It do need a
world
reset.
Needs a massive reset. The only way to get rid of everything, all laws and systems, is reboot everything.
Let everybody fend for themselves for 6 months.
Too many rich in power. That's pretty much what it's. Stu, we can't hear you.
I said NORAD.
You're mute.
I'm with
NORAD.
I'm with that. Let's just hit the reset.
Yeah, but then there's the question: who's in charge of the reboot?
Hey, Nora, when they put me back in the Matrix, I want to be somebody important. I want to be rich. I want to be rich.
Yeah, but who's in charge of the reboot? Who's in charge?
Like what's the name said?
Putting what where?
Yeah,
pretty important. Like
all it's gonna do is just
it's like an act.
Rework the issue, move them somewhere else.
I can walk up on stage and smack somebody.
Listen, these greedy Republicans, just unleash the fucking virus now. Release the virus now. Greedy Republican, release it now. Let's go. Let's get it all.
You know, you're angry.
Well, I'm pretty sure like most of the rich people in the world are Democratic, though.
Republicans. Republicans, you heard me?
Well, the rich people are Republicans, definitely.
I don't give a
fuck. What about all the actors and everything?
Fuck Republicans.
Yeah, a lot of the actors, but like when you're talking about like the CEOs, the old money people, the old money white people with old money and all that, like they definitely are Republican.
Multi, I love you, brother. I love the passion. I love the passion.
Fuck Republicans. If they ain't for human rights, then I don't give a fuck about them. I mean,
but yeah, listen.
Because
when 1% of the population has 99% of the wealth, that's the problem.
Go ahead.
And you got 99% of the population sharing 1% of the population's wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So that 1% of the population, the multi-billionaires, trillionaires, they're the ones that are going to make all the decisions. They're the one that's going to run shit and rule shit and make it the way it is because they have all the wealth in the world. Mm-hmm. So it'll never be fair. It'll never be equal. It'll never be the people. You know what I'm saying?
People don't matter anymore. The people don't matter.
So the people don't matter anymore. So they need to be eliminated. All the heads.
Consumers are a product. We are a product. The American people are consumers. We have been created by the American machine, and we are a product. We are the product of the empire state. We are a product of this country. We are the sort. We are the resource. We buy everything that the rest of the world makes. So their cash crop is us. Just like in the Matrix, when you see the crops of people, that's exactly what the fuck is going on here in this country. We're not in a bubble. We're walking around and we think we're free, and they tell us we're free, and they pretend we're free, and they say we're free.
Yeah, I think to touch on what NORAD said, there does need to be a reset. What needs to happen is Instead of everybody being so divided by left, right, Republican, Democrat, black, white, whatever the case may be, people just need to drop the bullshit that's not important and come together to rise up and
Mash, what's
actually
not
make
important?
What's not important is like how some people like I said, some people look at it as like, well, we're one's left.
You had a specific agenda. What's not important? You said it in your sentence.
What's not important is who's rich, who's poor, who's black, who's white. What's important is that we're all people. We all need to come together to make the reset happen, to take back the country, in a sense of how it's being divided. You know what I mean?
We would have to
come together. Stop being divided. Stop letting the 1% run the show.
Well, that's how the 1% runs us, because they keep us divided with shit like Fox News and CNN, and they've got two polarizing views, and people are going to subscribe to one or the other. And then you got Multiverse. He's mad. He wants to kill all the Republicans. And then you got Republicans. They hate all the liberals and they want to kill them. And really, come on.
Yeah, you know people, we need to come together. Everybody needs to come together and realize what's
like the
important.
Beatles. Yeah, everybody needs to come together like the Beatles.
Yep, 100%.
Well, yeah. I mean that's kumbaya and all of that, but coming together is something that can only happen if we stop subscribing to the news and the media and the
Republicans would be killed. They would be the orcs.
If it was Lord of the Rings, the Republicans would be,
you know what I mean? That's
the men.
They'd be the men. The orc,
they'd be
the elves. But anyway, we gotta call it a night.
Listen, I love all y'all Democrats and Republicans right now, but I gotta log off. My phone, I'm about to die. My device is gonna die.
We gotta call it a day.
Yeah,
I gotta it's 10 o'clock. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys, man, for coming.
We know the Republican, and I want to be just like
I want to be like Stu. I want to be rich, black, and Republican, but it'll never happen. But
and Democratic, that's how we do it.
That's a little running joke me and Reno got between each other. That's how we greet each other. Yeah, we greet each other like that. He'd be like, "Oh, what's going on, man?" I'd be like, "Nothing, man. I'm trying to be like you, rich, white, and Republican."
Like you.
Yeah, he'd bust out laughing. Yeah. They'd be like, "Well, I'm trying to be like you, rich, black, and Republican." So
rich
that's a little joke we got, man.
All right.
Thank you guys, man, for coming and giving us everybody's opinions and being candid. I appreciate everybody. If you guys were watching, for the 3 people that stuck around in the live, we appreciate you, man. Definitely, and we'll see you Wednesday. You said something?
Yeah, I was just saying thank you, everybody. But yeah, looking forward to Wednesday, the final episode of Moon Knight. See what happens.
Oh yeah, we got Multiverse. You joining us on Wednesday, man?
May the 4th.
Moon Night special.
I'm back.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
May the 4th.
Less anger though.
Yeah, we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it friendly.
Anger is needed for shit you believe in.
No, that's true, but I just want to keep this show,
let's talk about
lighthearted.
Let's talk about it off. Let's talk about it off air.
Nothing but love.
Let's talk about it off air, please.
I'm gonna say goodnight to the chat. We'll talk in a second. Peace out, everybody. I'm gonna talk. You guys don't go nowhere. All right, we'll see you guys Wednesday, man. 6:30 p.m. Eastern. See you then.